daughter and my daughter and her two boys are coming up. The ones that we went to Disney World with on December, last year. So it'll be
Oh, great.
fun.
Hope you have a happy birthday. I just wish I had known earlier. I would have sent you something.
I'm good.
So be wise. Yeah.
A record that I don't have, right?
That would be a tough one to find. Well,
I did. I did
what do you
see
got?
one. There's a guy that posted Darby O'Gill radio spots, and I'd never even seen it before. It was super cool, and it had all sorts of, had the cue sheets and everything with it. It's on Facebook if anybody wants to see it.
It's amazing what some of those things go for.
Hmm. Yeah.
Well, today we're going back to 1964 again. By the way, I hope everybody had a great Memorial Day weekend. It was nice and cooler out here than usual, and I worked a event that day at the annual Greek Festival, which was it's several thousand people coming together. It's always great fun, and they have all sorts of Greek food and performers, and at the end of the day, they have a big dance group come in and do a major performance, and they ask everybody from the audience to come out and join. And they got a couple hundred people out there on the dance floor, and been doing this for 14 years. And this was the first year we didn't have to deal with any drunks, so it made the night even more fun. So
Bill, where is that held?
what's that?
Where is
Oh,
that
where's that
held?
held? Greek Orthodox Church in Granada Hills, and they do a 3-day festival. So
It's
it's
Northridge actually, but maybe not.
yeah, right, yeah, right there on the border. And the church is really great. It's where we hold our annual pasta dinner for fundraising and other odds and ends. But they treat us volunteers really nice with a free dinner and stuff like that, which was a nice night. I always like, you know, back east when I lived back there, we'd always have big parades for Memorial Day and that. And out here, Canoga Park had a Memorial Day parade, but most small town things are gone. So I really like it when there's community events and like we do an annual street fair and a Christmas parade in Granada Hills. It's just kind of nice to have a feeling of community, I guess. So well, let me start with going back here to the first one, share screen. Okay, share. Okay, anybody want to guess what we're looking at? This is the
Ford
Maryland
Pavilion.
Pavilion looking out. One of the things I get a kick out of is, everybody takes pictures of like from the street of the pavilion looking in, but here somebody actually got a shot of it the other way. So again, it's all the little weird, esoteric things that pop up in these shots that I get a kick out of. And you can again zoom in on some of it. And you can see they had all sorts of displays down here about the different counties and things like that.
Hey,
Then we go
Bill,
off. Yeah.
are we looking at some new acquisitions today or some spiffed up originals?
No, these are going back to ones that I did years ago. I do have a bunch of new acquisitions, but I've been super busy with stuff and haven't gotten them all restored. Mostly lately, I've been working on a bunch of films, and the other thing I've been doing is these. Oh, let me grab some good old Panaview slides. I have these are the souvenir slides, which are slightly bigger than 35 millimeter, and they take forever to scan. I've got a bunch of running on the flatbed scanner now. But if you saw on Facebook, I just posted some pictures from Santa's Village up in Lake Arrowhead. Been working on just a bunch of those so I can get them out of a box and into a binder. So today we're back to things that I did a number of years ago. So back to Florida. You don't see too many palm trees in New York, probably not even today. And we go over to Oklahoma. These are all 64, by the way, in this particular batch. And we're moving around. The slides are kind of jumbled, but we're here with the flamingos. And they don't look too pink. I guess they weren't getting enough shrimp in their diet.
Hmm.
And at the fair, everybody had to have a tower. You know, I think if you went through, I'm looking at the map on the wall here, the number of towers is pretty high. So, you know, if everybody say, "Oh, meet me at the tower." Well, here's the Scott Paper Tower. I always wondered where this lighting arrangement went. Probably Joey has it in his dining room.
Or something similar.
Yeah, right. This one, I'm not quite sure where this one is. It looks like the three wise men on camels, and there's a picture here in the back. So it looks like some pronghorn antelope running. So I don't know what the connection is. Wayne is a wonderful detective in figuring out. Maybe he'll figure out who or where this particular one is. There's really not a lot in it that gave me any clues, so I was not able to figure that one out. And luckily, this
It
one
kind
I
of
figured
looked,
out.
it kind of looked like Spain to me.
Yeah, but the pronghorn antelope, I don't know. They have those
Oh.
over in Spain.
Bill, what's at the very top of the photo? It looks like an arch or a dome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks like something outside that could be dome shaped.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Which again, well, let's see. I don't know. It could be bleached out. That could be the moon dome over at Travel and Transportation.
Or the geodesic dome of the pavilion, maybe.
That would have all the lattice work, I would think, on it.
But I kind of see a little bit, and you know, it's not real distinct, but
Could also be GE.
yeah.
And you know, again, I tried to say, okay, you know, can't quite make out what the sign here is on the wall. So
Go to
but,
the
yeah,
go to the upper part again. What
sure.
let's see. Am I seeing to the right of that dome? I can't tell if that's inside the pavilion.
No, there's the trees outside.
Further
There's a
over, further
balcony.
over. Okay, that's glass inside the pavilion or something, right?
Right.
Yeah, okay. I thought I saw a reflection of like the skyway. See what I mean there?
I
Yeah.
can see it. See two gondola cars.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll see what Wayne's working on it. We'll see what he can come up with.
Yeah, I
actually,
have to wait till you post the video so I can use Google Lens.
yeah, let me send you the copy of the picture.
Oh, great.
I'm just making note which one it is. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I was really pissed with some of the changes along the way that Google made to image search, but now it's become good again.
Yeah, it's a great tool. It's found some things that I was absolutely surprised at. Now here
You
is
know, Bill,
I-
here's
yeah.
a thought on that last one a minute.
Yeah.
If you look at I was just thinking, I wonder if that's looking at artwork that people from that country or whatever have done from time to time. And so the pronghorn antelopes are not necessarily from the country, but of an artist that painted them on a trip or whatever. And
be.
therefore that's why it's there, which would be misleading as to where it really was from. Because
Yeah.
you're right, you know, this one's got obviously camels, or it looks like camels in it, in the statue. And you wouldn't find those two other than if a circus came to town.
Well,
Yeah.
but couldn't those animals be llamas with?
Yeah,
Yeah.
They look more like they're men riding on a camel. That you don't see
think The men are standing behind, I think.
Yeah, that's true. It could be,
Yeah.
in which case then it might be a South American country.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
South
that
American
was my
countries were
thought.
there?
It looks like the three wise men to me.
That's what it looked like to me.
Yeah, that too.
Well, it looks like two wise men and Don Quixote to me. The guy on the right looks like
Yeah.
Don Quixote.
it does look like it belongs there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just through Google image search, and it did not come up with anything helpful. Initially, it gave me the name of a sculptor, but I looked up that particular sculptor, and she was born in 1958, so that wasn't the right one. And then I asked World Fair to the search, and so far Google image search hasn't been helpful with this one.
Well, this is the Child Prodigy Pavilion.
I was gonna say, yeah, Beth, what's your issue with a 5-year-old
Right.
doing a sculpture like that?
Well, we'll see what we can come up with for a future one. And this is
Where is that sculpture today? Where's it at today?
Beats me. That's what we're trying to figure out, who it is and where he did it. Now, this is the aptly named House of Good Taste. I mean, talk about the 60s, right? So, you know, we have our wall decor, which matches our pillows, and, you know, the colors on it all reminded me of, you know, the different plates and stuff my mother had, you know, back at that period of time.
Like the seat backs for watching television from bed.
Yes, that's
Uh,
right. Yeah.
I was trying to figure that out. First, I thought we were at a table, but why are there pillows on the table? But yeah, and then of course the ever-present ash. Is that an ash
I
tray?
was getting, it's a
That's
cigarette
a
lighter.
lighter.
Yeah.
A light.
Yeah,
so
cigarette lighter.
let's smoke in bed.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
smoke in bed.
Yeah,
They
so
look
here's
like
the
cigarette
lighter, and I
sizes.
think the ashtray is just off to the side
Oh,
here.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah, with
they
all the
smoke
trouble
a
they
lot.
went to matching colors, why they used black for those backrests. You know, it's just like they grabbed them out of it, you know, just off of a chair and put them there because, oh, we should have some backrests. You know, that's would be a good thing to have, but you know, they're just like black.
Yeah.
They look more like they're out of like a '63 Corvair or something. But,
Yeah.
and this one, we're again in the House of Good Taste, and it's the magic of getting your carpet. These are all carpet samples that you could get.
Shag carpeting.
This is again, I was able to track this one down. This was the House of Good Taste. You could get some of your home decor if you wanted to have, you know, the man-eating plant or the man-eating bird or the religious figure inside. Doesn't look. There's a place up near us that when we go to has, I forget the name of it. It's on the road out towards the desert. And you go in there and they have a you know, snack bar and everything else, but they have one whole room of kitsch, you know, stuff that they're selling. And Neil and I walk in and we start singing the song. We're in the tacky room, you know, it's sung the song of tiki birds, but this is the sort of stuff that would fit in there really, really well.
Yeah, I had an aunt that decorated like that, and even as a kid, I thought it was awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is more modern looking, the House of Good Taste here. Hopefully they have a lot of, what you call it, glass cleaner, but I used to have a glass table. More of the House of Good Taste. And if you look, you can see that there were numbers on things. So if you wanted to go and get this, you could go to the catalog and say, how much for T197 delivered to my house, or over here, T433. So everything in the house was in a catalog, and you could go to a desk and order it, and they would ship it right to your house. Nice modern looking kitchen of the 60s. It even looks like a microwave over here. It's probably just a toaster oven or something.
It's interesting. There's like curtains in front of the sink there, because if you look down below it, you can see a box that's under there for storage, but they look like a curtain matching the window curtains.
I think it's actually a door.
Yeah, those are doors.
Maybe
Are
just
those
a
doors?
panel.
Yeah, they're cabinet.
Where's the faucet on the sink?
Oh, good question.
Oh, that's a stovetop. It's a glass stovetop.
It's
Oh, that's probably what it is.
It is
Oh,
a
right.
stovetop, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Stovetop.
yeah. And we hope back over to Maryland. So they had a model of the USS Constitution there, and there was a box you could drop money in that would go to the funding of the real USS Constitution. Anybody notice anything unusual about this picture?
Well, it doesn't really look like the USS Constitution to me. I've built models of that ship, and that's not what it looked like.
Sorry, it's the Constellation. It's the Constellation.
Okay, all right, all
Minor.
right. That makes
Yeah.
a difference.
What's different here is you have to be a real geek to look, but they're not the usual serpentine phone booths. They had different phone booths.
Oh.
These are
Oh.
almost every phone booth at the fair was either the serpentines type or the family phone booth. But they had a couple of these here, and then they had a couple other designs on the entranceways to the New York State Pavilion. So again, super rare type phone booths of this type, and a map of you are here, you know, where to go to the fair. How's a good taste? Oh wow! Oh, not a lot inside, but I guess you were allowed to actually walk around and touch things.
Yeah, that kitchen reminds me, several years ago, some friends were trying to get me to move out to Palm Springs. They wanted me to go out and look at this house. The exterior was great. It was a typical, well-designed mid-century home. The inside was all done like this. Somebody had it done. So I made a comment about it, like, why would I want to buy a house with a whatever French provincial kitchen in a mid-century home? I thought the realtor was going to kill me.
Huh. Yeah, they really get into it, don't they?
Yeah.
Now, Wisconsin, radio station today in Wisconsin. Oklahoma, the giant relief map. It's kind of cool if you see a video of it, like they have a cattle here, the cattle actually moving, going around in and out of the building. And, you know, unlike real life, when the cattle go into these buildings, they don't come back out. But
They could have showed little
Hmm.
snakes coming out.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
come out in
Yeah,
pieces. They come
go
out in
in
pieces.
You gotta have them go in on one side, Big Macs come out on the other.
Yeah.
And we have Oklahoma. Oh, Darren's got something from Google AI. What does they
See.
have?
Hotel
Georgia,
California.
Okay.
Hotel California.
Darren says the sculpture 3 Men and Camels was featured in the Jordan Pavilion. Oh, I have to go back and check that out. Thank you, sir. Obviously, this tells us where we are. One of the dull pavilions at the fair, the Pavilion of American Interiors. I mean, you can look at it and you can see, if you want to go inside, we have the exciting stuff. We have the Ethan Allen furniture, and we have DuPont 501. I have no idea what AID regional rooms are. It's probably some designer thing, but they had a restaurant up here at the top, and then in all the floors in between, you could see all sorts of furniture and things for sale. I remember Mom going in to look at it, and looking at some of the stuff quite wistfully, realizing almost everything in there was out of the budget, or with 5 boys it would be destroyed anyway.
Yeah, I think AID might be American Institute of Designers or Decorators or something like that.
Something, yeah. Another one of Scott. So those are 64. Let me hop over to 65 in this set. So in 65, the state of Minnesota did a major upgrade to their pavilion. If you might remember from 64, you got to go canoeing, except the canoes jammed up in the trough. You got to go fishing, but then what did you do with the fish? That sort of thing. So in 65, they brought back a whole big thing with Big Ole here, and talking about, was Minnesota the birthplace of America because of this rune that was RUNE type rune that was discovered, that they said the Vikings had come to Minnesota. How they got to Minnesota without going to any of the other states, nobody ever quite explained to me. But over to the right, you can see the longboat. They put it on a tractor and took it across the United States, and brought great big attention that they were doing it. And then they had Big Ole here, and in shots of the I think I have it on my changes between the season thing. People unfortunately would go in Big Ole's spear. They would try to tug it out of his hand and end up breaking off the bottom couple feet of it. After the fair, Big Ole is now in Minnesota, and he stands in a town square. A number of years ago, a drunk driver smacked into him, but he's been restored and stands proudly. I think it's Alexandria, Minnesota is the name of it. And we have over here at Florida, you have one of the animals doing the trick. This is an actual state trooper from the state of Florida. They decided that they would bring them up there to protect their own exhibits. And they had a problem where an alligator got out, and the Florida state trooper was able to use his training and subdue and capture the alligator. So what a great job. If you're a state trooper and you get told to go to, New York for 6 months and take care of the pavilion and make sure the dolphins don't escape. This was a big thing at this point. I mean, dolphin show, they put them at every theme park and everything you can think of over time. But, for a live show in '64, and this was back when Flipper was big on television. And
I was going to say, how the movie Flipper was out just before this.
yeah.
That
So
was-
being able to go there and see it in person, that was really, and you can see, and it was free, a free show too. So they got a nice crowd for it. And back to flamingos. On the background here, there were examples of typical 1960s Florida housing and how we could build one of these for you dirt cheap, and just sign here and we'll put it up for you. This is either Spain or Mexico, a bullfighting, kind of a weird shot there. Let me send this one to you, Wayne. See if you can figure this one out too. Okay. By the way, I mentioned in my invite for this, I was helping somebody else with some research on something, and I got around last week to putting up or the other day, putting up the Expo 67 talk online, and saw that the last New York talk on YouTube got 125 visitors so far. So it's nice to know that there's a few of us here today, but there's a lot of other people out there that like the 64 fair. So a gray and gloomy day. We have so many of them that the sky was blue and nice and sunny because of the drought that was hitting New York. But this is either a rainy, gloomy day or a smoggy day in New York.
It looks like some of my pictures.
Yeah, does it? Did you
Yeah.
have bad weather when you were there?
Well, it wasn't bad, but it was gray.
Yeah. Actually, I enjoyed going in those days because it was cooler. So it sometimes was more humid, but it was, didn't have the sun bearing down on you when you were waiting on the line. So this is coming into the fairground, and here's the U.S. Pavilion in the background of Hollywood here. Look at all those buses taking people into the fair. Imagine, I guess the bus drivers probably had a good day. They could probably, go out and enjoy the fair and have a great time themselves. This little thing here is the vent for the Underground World Home. That's their air duct. Our Ferris wheel. See the Hall of Science still being built back here. It's amazing when you think what these companies put into these pavilions. I mean, just the millions and millions of dollars spent for something that got 12 months of use. And nice shot of New York. We have the VIP level here. I don't think we can see any VIPs out. There was a balcony they could come out here and look down. You could get a nice view of the map. And then up above, people taking pictures and enjoying themselves out there. Whoops, move something here. Let me move that back. And then down below, the Missouri Snack Bar and a hat shop. You can see people trying the hats on here. I wonder today if you had a World's Fair, if you did a hat shop, if you'd sell many hats.
Yes.
And small world.
We've all seen hat stands at recent fair, like I think Expo 86 had some.
Yeah, they still sell a bunch of them at Disneyland, so I guess that helps. Maybe it was ears and stuff and the goofy hats, but no more big, long, tall feathers, right?
Yeah, and I guess since fairs are not, being held in the US, we have to kind of base hat stands on what the customs are in those countries.
Yeah. Not going the wrong way. And out to the Pool of Nations. All right, let me get the next batch. That was August of '64, by the way, and not a, I guess not a great day for weather.
Bill, what you alluded to about Big Ole and Vikings, this, what would you call it? Relics being found in Minnesota. That's why it was it went to Alexandria, as that's where the relics were found.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Sure.
No, every little bit of factoid is appreciated.
Okay. Well, you kind of alluded to that. I just wondered if, connected all the way through, all the dots.
Every time I connect the dots, it looks like the pattern on Ralph Petrie. Sorry, Rob Petrie's back.
The Liberty Bell.
Yeah, exactly.
Without the crack, because what did that guy strange but true, isn't that what he was?
Yeah, right.
The strange but true man said that one of the freckles on that made the crack was actually a scar, and then kind of accused them of creating the scar.
That will do it.
That show is good.
This is the sort of view that I look at, and I figure the folks that put the fair together really did a nice job of, just like the landscaping, bringing in these rocks and some mature trees and that sort of thing. It, certainly, better than just an empty hill or, dirt wall, concrete wall, dirt beam or whatever. Then we get over to travel and transportation. So we have all sorts of stuff. So I have pictures of this thing being painted, this mural up here, but big thing. And outside one of the helicopters that made the first flights, I think was the North Pole. And inside all sorts of, the United Airlines has an exhibit, and the car, the best exhibit I thought was the cars from the Great Race. Well, looks like a nice warm day out. Everybody's taking their jackets off, and she's still wearing her heels. We didn't see too much of that today, right? Mention another talks about the astral fountain being so powerful, and you can see all the water that's off to the side here from the wind. And they later installed a device to measure the wind, and if it got too high, it would automatically dial down the power of the fountains. But look how, with the wind going, and you can see it all blowing out in this particular direction. They had some problems, some slip and falls out here, and decided that that was the best way to deal with it. But that was truly the pumps to this must have been insane. That's a lot.
Not to mention that the people having to walk from one side to the other through that would probably be trenched by the time they got to the other side.
But it's funny, as a kid, I remember doing that, and I remember thinking it was the greatest thing in the world on a hot day.
Well, on a hot day, yes.
Yeah. And if you didn't want to go this way, you could always go the other way. But that they had slip and fall problems out here, and decided that they would dial it down.
Yeah, looking at this picture, a few weeks ago, I made the comment about you were looking at pictures after the fair had been torn out, and you say this was the astral fountain. And I made comment about, like, I didn't think it was that huge. Well, I was thinking that perimeter was the outside part of the actual fountain structure there with the stars on it. So that's
Right.
why I thought it was, it's like, that seems way bigger than it was. Well, it is in the sense of I was thinking of that structure, not the fountain basin. So
Oh, yeah, right.
my mistake.
Yeah, I also have to comment that this is one of the few pictures taken from the sunny side where you can actually see the stars are white.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
lights here, they ended up at the Orange County Fairgrounds in New York, and I have pictures of them. They're gone now, I understand. But they bought all these lights that went around, and they were up at the fairground. And I think they only had about 6 of them up there when I was at the fairgrounds, but it was really kind of neat to see them again.
Bill, it's funny you mentioned about enjoying the mist from the fountain on a hot day. You know, they were trying to control that or stop that. Expo 92 in Seville, 'cause it was so dang hot, they
Yeah,
had misters all over the place. I mean, anytime you walked under any awning or covering, they had misters installed.
yeah, just don't think they put out this sort of volume.
No, you're right. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. By the time the mist was so fine, it basically never hit the ground.
right. And off to our favorite New York State Pavilion. In the background here, you can see the information booth. If you go there today, you can still see the outline of this and the planters that were in there for the fair. After the fair, they took this out, and who knows where any of these things went. But this was, you come in and they'd give you the schedule for the day, those blue sheets of paper if you have them in your collection, telling you who was performing, that sort of thing. And then over here is the gift shop, and doesn't show here. There was wasn't really a snack bar. It was a bunch of vending machines and stuff. You could bring your food out here, but you could go in here and again, a trip back there. Oh man, get a couple more New York State medallions or things like that. So
Bill, if you go back out on this one for a second,
yeah,
if you look at the view in the background, there is the GM Pavilion. And
mhm,
remember that view where you were talking about how they brought in the rock for the landscaping? Well, in that view, this is like 180 degrees from that picture, because in that picture you could see the towers of the New York State building kind of framed between the GM building and the landscape. And now you're
right.
looking back from those towers or underneath the towers at the GM. So it's kind of interesting that these two shots are 180 degrees to one another from the opposite, what you can see in the background.
Yeah, very true. And we have the bridge going over from the Lake Amusement area over to the, is this one from the Lake Amusement? No, this is from transportation over to, yeah, they had 2 bridges, Bridge of the United Nations north or south, and I think this is north. Here's the
Hey,
Hollywood Pavilion over here,
hey,
some of the Serpentine phone booths. Again, you
that
can
guy
tell,
in the center is wearing my shirt.
yeah, is he?
It's,
Almost.
But being the 60s, he's got his cigarette.
No, but I think he's talking about the guy in the background, aren't
yeah,
you?
the red.
Oh,
In the
here?
blue
Red
Wearing the
shorts.
blue
hat.
shorts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What a
So
class.
you
Oh,
must
he's got
have,
his white socks to go with it. So,
Well, at least
yeah,
they're white socks and not black socks.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
see
It means-
sometimes.
But he does
it
have
means Wayne is a 60-year-old shirt.
he does have dress shoes on though with his white socks.
Yes,
yeah,
but they're loafers, so they're not
Yeah.
that dressy.
Well, back then, that probably would, yeah, way
Penny
back.
loafers. Yeah.
Yeah, now you're lucky. You have somebody's dressing up, they wear something this nice
yeah.
for shoe wear.
And a nice clean brass rail.
Hmm.
And 2 escorters.
Yeah, 2 of them here. And just one going out of shot here. Still lots of ties and lots of jackets. Again, these flags are just geometric shapes. Imagine on Big Bang, Sheldon Cooper, Fun with Flags. He would freak out trying to figure out where these were from.
But this is an amateur slide?
Yes.
Okay, nice.
Yep. And down here, the Garden of Meditation. Well, this wasn't the Garden of Meditation. Over here, this is the Pan American Gardens here, where you could wander through. Some of the serpentine phone booths. Look how big these lamps are.
Where is this taken from?
This one, let's see. I'm trying to. Okay, there's New York. There's the Vatican. I'm just looking here.
They're up on the second floor of something.
Yeah. Okay, I think this is taken from the roof of Kodak. Yeah, I think this is Kodak.
Yeah, you can see the Belgian village there.
Yeah, in the background. Yeah, so
Yeah, well,
again,
since the
next
next picture is Kodak,
Kodak,
probably
that's-
was.
Yeah, probably was. Yep, and another Kodak.
Yeah.
And good old IBM. Boy, little did I know when I first went in there and they told you how computers worked, what I'd be doing for the rest of my life.
Well,
And one of the trams going by and the arch.
they took 29 years of mine.
Well, he's got a lot of nice shots.
Yeah, I tell you, I go back there today and I can stand at this railing and just see it in my mind, what was there.
You know what the red and white tent is?
Yeah, that's over Little New York, Rheingold, and was
Oh,
selling beer and stuff out here.
There's
You
a
just
Jane
see-
Parker sign again.
Yeah, you can just see the edge of the main building over here.
Okay, yeah.
Travelers Insurance, the famous Jane Parker sign. Again, another view of Scott with their tower. Here's the Rheingold building. So we were just looking at the very edge of it, and that tent would be off to the side there. These women, looks like they're wearing flats. So is one wearing heels? No, looks like flats, so that they were making sense.
Yeah, she's just lifting her foot to make a step.
Yeah. Okay, so I know they're Chryslers, but do you want to take a shot from left to right of which models we're looking at?
I think that's a Dodge, possibly Polaris on the left. This I think is the Dart, the original first Dart.
Yeah.
And the one on the far right, and the other one is one of their little
Simcoe.
foreign jobs. Yeah, Simca. And then that's a Chrysler.
Right.
Yeah. Over here,
Hmm.
SKF telling us the miracles of ball bearings with the Jim Henson designed creature inside. And you can tell this is early because they're still showing the ice show in here.
You know, the Beatles song,
What's that?
there was a Beatles song, and my best friend interpreted the words as "pay for that Chrysler." The song was Paperback Writer, and he would always sing, "Pay for that Chrysler, pay for that
No,
I
Chrysler."
am so bad at that. When I discover what real lyrics are, it's like, no, it
Yeah.
can't.
You
Yeah.
have ruined it for me from life now. Thank you. You know, it's really funny how people will hear things and get them wrong, and you wonder how they got it. And there was when I went to college, there was a gal that my friend was dating, and somehow she came up with a thing about the band leader that she thought she saw at the World's Fair, but he had a really weird name, and she thought the guy's name was Guy Lombardo. No, it's Guy Lombardo, but she remembered it as Guy Lombardo. And we could not convince her that his name was Guy Lombardo. But so we're here at Schaefer. Schaefer had a very nice sit-down restaurant, and they had a buffet that you could go in and help yourself to, or waitress service, depending on the time of day. up to back on the roof of Kodak, and down here is the Pan American Garden, Highway Gardens.
That brass rail is almost blindingly white.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Over here was a thing about was a what you call it, the hat company, whatever the hat company was.
Arlington.
What's that?
Arlington.
Arlington, thank you. Yeah, and they had a thing in here about how felt was invented and made. The House of Gas restaurant, and this was originally all supposed to be air curtains, and they found out that it just didn't work, so they had to glass enclose it and up the air conditioning. Albert Fisher said this was one of the best restaurants at the fair. I never did get to eat there, but he said that the food in there was probably about the best value that he could imagine. And we're over here. This is at IBM, planter display outside of IBM. The backside of General Electric. Looks like the
How bad
again,
that grass
brand
looks.
new. Yeah, the fair is just newly open, so things haven't even grown in yet.
Is this where they eventually built the waiting area for the line?
Yeah.
I think this is near it. I don't think this is quite. I don't think it quite matches up the angle. We'll probably see it in another shot. They hadn't added in the signs yet for your wait time is. The Golden Rondell over at Johnson Wax. Hey, all of a sudden I want a beer. In '65, they hitched up the horses and would take that around the fairgrounds, getting people to follow them back. Anybody know where we are?
Chungking.
Chungking, 99 cents, full Chinese lunch or dinner. And you could go and sit in their rickshaw, which they had at the '62 World's Fair, and they put one out at Freedomland as well. House of Gas again. I've got some
We got
demolition
one
pictures.
puff of smoke in the sky.
You know, I don't know if that's a cloud or if that's the smoke from the smoke ring, which is right nearby.
That's the smoke ring. Smoke ring, I think.
If you're in the LA area, by the way, on July 25th, I'm doing a talk with Greg Wilson, who's the son of Mark Wilson, who did the House of Magic exhibit. And matter of fact, we're going out to see Greg's doing a magic show tonight, so the family and I and some friends are going out to see that. But if he does a really nice every 2 weeks free magic show out in Santa Clarita. So, and we're going to do a virtual tour of the fair. And then he has some of the original props and movies and stuff from the Hall of Magic. So if anybody's in the LA area and you want to see vintage 1964 magic, come on up. I'll get you the details.
I got to meet him when I was a little boy in Idaho.
Mark Wilson?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny when I was talking to Greg on Thursday. They had a new puppy. He had to go do something. And he put his mother on the phone, and his mother is still sharp as a tack. She got up there in the 90s, but had a real nice chat with her. I mean, they did all those TV shows together and everything. And I've been out to their facility before. Really, really nice people. When the movie Tomorrowland came out, they were doing a thing where Greg was doing a magic act at the El Capitan Theater, and he invited us to come out, and we got a really nice tour of the theater, including walking through the the organ, which is just amazing. And then he gave me a nice shout out to the audience about, sitting there in the back is one of the guys that worked on the movie. So I kept trying to say, only on the good part, only on the good part.
I was going to say, did you duck?
I left during the show. So we have for Formica. They were very proud of themselves. The only hill in the fair. So as other pavilions were digging huge basements, the dirt had to go someplace. So here was Formica.
There's the Jane Parker sign again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We may have discussed this before. Does the Formica brand still exist?
Well, that's a good question.
Hmm.
You know,
Think
Carol's
it
dad
does.
had, Carol's dad was in the business of putting Formica kitchens into.
Yeah, I don't know if it's still around. That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we had Formica in our kitchens and our bathrooms.
Yeah, everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a customer that had, was a Formica fabricator, but they're long gone. So I don't think they are.
I don't think plastic countertops are so popular anymore. I think it's
No.
mostly stone now.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. But
Marble
you'll
and
remember
granite.
that retro look, that Formica with the atomic logo things on it. I mean, you
Right.
can't do better than that for a retro kitchen.
Yeah. It
But
was.
does everyone know where the Formica brand came from?
No.
Mm-mm.
It was a electrical insulating plastic that was a substitute for mica.
Oh, Formica. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
And by the way, the Formica company does still exist and you can send away for free samples.
really?
Oh,
Yeah.
go get
Oh,
some.
But they
Okay.
make all
Redo it.
kinds of things that besides laminate tops, they have quartz countertops, they have kitchen renovation, granite countertops. So they've expanded, obviously.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll redo my kitchen right now.
And here we have the Schaefer Beer Center. And I like this one, mom and daughter matching hats here. I don't know if they bought them at the fair. I've not recalled seeing others, but maybe they brought them from home. But they,
That's so they can find each other in a crowd easily.
every now and then you see some things where the entire family's dressed the same.
We had tall countertops, and for my wife's birthday, I surprised her and had them all replaced with granite, I guess. Yeah, granite. And boy, was that ever a feat to get all the old countertops out, in the kitchen and the bathrooms
And
and
that's a surprise. I mean, she
well,
walked in the
yeah,
house one day and came back and they were gone.
yeah. Well, all the new ones were in. Yeah,
All in
so
one, all in one
all in
day.
one day. Yeah,
Wow.
yep. Ripped them out,
The
put the new
granite
ones
could be
in.
a source. Granite produces radon gas.
It
What
does.
does?
what does?
Oh yeah, granite
Granite.
can give off radon gas.
Oh, granite. Yeah.
We've
Well, I
uh,
guess it depends where it's quarried from.
yeah, we've done
And we
those
have the
tests.
entranceway here to the underground home. And there's a book on the post-fair days, and you can see just all sorts of debris and everything piled in this area. And she's in the underground world home, so you had to, make it feel like you're outside and the trees are flowering and everything is nice and pretty. Back over to Rhinestone, to Rheingold rather, we have the Keystone Cops.
Cool.
Back over at IBM again. She's a VIP. I have about 12 of those badges.
Hmm.
Okay, so that was again 64.
Is
That'll
that a-
get you in the priority line.
Is what?
Get your priority in line when you have a VIP badge on.
Yeah,
at
since
Chrysler.
everybody had them.
Yeah, was that they were giving out Chrysler, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the first
It's
year
like
they
the
were
version of
hard
Fast Pass.
for it. Yeah, the
Are
first year
these
they were
slides
very hit.
35 millimeter or not? No.
That last one?
Oh, this one too. They're square. So are they 126 or?
Yeah,
Oh.
126. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the Chrysler badges when they first came out were a heavy cardboard stock, and in '65 they went to a much lighter. They were again cardboard, but much lighter, and they bent over. All the fingers would bend over. So this was one when we were working on Tomorrowland. Boy, did we have discussions with Disney on this one because they wanted to recreate this entrance canopy and even the signage here, I zoom in on it. Again, Pepsi, Walt Disney, and what were the prices and everything. I always got a kick out of this woman's hat here. I thought it just suited her so well.
Hey, 12 p.m. Is that midnight or noon?
Midnight. Yeah, it was open from 9 in the morning till midnight. So
Oh, midnight.
yeah, the lines were so long, people were still lined up going through it. So
Didn't
we
most
were
places
just-
close at 10 o'clock?
most of the pavilions closed at 10, but the fairgrounds were open till midnight, and this one stayed open. It was up to the
Hmm.
individual exhibitor what hours they had to stay open till at least 10, but if they wanted to go later, they could.
Wow.
So somebody was they just restored Walt Disney's airplane, and somebody was commenting about how he was getting on a flight to go back to New York, and they almost bumped him from it because they were taking bags of dimes, because it was 90 cents was the admission price for adults, and the New York banks just couldn't come up with enough dimes for them to give change. So Frank Staniszek, did you know Frank Brock?
Staniszek, yeah, I remember the name. I'm trying to remember. Go ahead.
Yeah, he had the job one day of furring about, I think he said it was $10,000 worth of dimes back to the fair. And Lillian was on the plane, and it was like, what are all those bags? And they had to distribute them around the cabin so that all the weight wasn't on one side of the plane or whatever. The
Wow.
next year, this guy's working. They said, "Oh, there's such a pain giving out all the dimes." Well, in the cast member newsletters, which I have on my site, they announced for the 65 season, you'll all be happy to know we no more dimes. They raised the price to $1 just to even it out, and that did away with the dimes. And people just happily paid the extra dime, and the money all went to UNICEF, so it was good cause. But yeah, they went all the way out for this thing of what were the pins that were on the hostesses' costumes, and did they wear them on the left side or the right side, and all sorts of detail that barely showed in the film.
I have one of those kids' hats and it fits me just like hers.
Well, yeah, I was wondering if you notice she's got a stroller there and there's a kid in the stroller. Is it his hat? And she put it on because she was too hot or the kid didn't want to wear it. And that was the
He probably
best
didn't wanna
place to
wear
put
it.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the best place to put it, not instead of carrying it around.
Hey, Wayne,
That's where you put a
she could use bobby pins to hold her hat in place. You don't have that luxury.
And
There's a woman
Chippendale-
wearing pants. That's unusual.
Yeah,
Yeah.
capri pants in.
and Chippendale hard at work up here.
Bill, you mentioning the shortage of dimes, that coincides perfectly because there was a coin shortage starting
Yeah.
in '64. Yeah.
Well, that's
People
when they were
started-
getting rid of the silver dimes. and
Yeah, they
stuff.
were starting to hoard silver, right?
Well, now
Right.
you're going to have a penny shortage.
Yeah.
That's a neat shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big plastic thing up here, which would take all the rain and it would go into all the pipes that would then go drain. You can
Wasn't that
see
circular? Well, it looks elliptical there.
it's oval. It's not circular. Yeah, the tent of tomorrow is actually an oval.
An oval. Yeah, the whole tent's an oval.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
You
Yeah, I
really
saw
see
those
it
around
there.
too.
It would have been
Maybe-
nice. I'm sorry.
The dark
Are
lines
any of
coming
those
down are
cables, are the
drain
cables
pipes.
failing yet?
No, they're still there.
How many cables
all
aren't
these,
starting to snap?
Yeah, the torsion ring is still there, and it's where all the things go. The drain pipes coming down.
It would have been nice if they would have emptied that water straight down into a fountain
Yeah,
inside the tent in the pavilion.
it would have been straight in the middle of New York State, though.
Well,
Yeah,
they could measure the
map,
rainfall.
the map was there, so you know.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah, true. You don't want to put a fountain right
Yeah.
on the map.
Yeah, you
Right.
need a state with a lake in the middle of it.
Yeah.
So which one looks better?
What's
Oh.
that?
Uh,
I like the first one.
I like the first one.
I didn't see the first one. Oh, there you go.
So
Our
are
manifest-
Are those World's Fair hats?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Love it.
Wonderful, unusual exhibit, open, no waiting. So,
No
over at the
waiting. How
Mormon
good could it be if
Church.
there's no waiting?
What's that?
How good could it be if there's no waiting?
Yeah. Unusual exhibit. That could be anything, I mean, wow. I just did a whole bunch of pictures. A guy did of the dancers outside the Mexico Pavilion, and I just you asked earlier about scanning stuff, but the guy had a really nice box of the what you call it, the Mexico Pavilion, just the performers outside, and then he had that was in, I think, one month, and the other month he had a whole bunch of really nice night shots of the fair. So they're on my list. Over to Chrysler. Again, another kind of grayish day.
These are pretty good quality for 126. Well, not this one necessarily, but
Yeah,
yeah.
right. Yeah, with anything else, if it's getting dark and people are moving, you get, oh, here's Wayne at an early day with his hat. Again, I loved that night at the fair when the sun was going down, the lights were coming on, and so many people were taking their little kids home because they were tired and cranky, or they didn't want to pay dinner prices at the fair. It emptied out so rapidly at night. It was really a pleasure. Over towards China.
I noticed on the, I forget which insurance company sponsored the population board, but still under 200 million. When did the US cross the 200 million mark? Does anybody know?
Good question. I do not know. Oh, this just shows the grandeur, the beauty, the splendor of Louisiana. So they had a float that a couple floats they went out to simulate the Mardi Gras parade. You can see how well they are, that the hand is totally broken off of this one, and the others are fraying and coming apart. I mean, it really was a pretty tacky display, and people didn't help it either by trying to go and pose for pictures of things like sitting on the hand, and off comes the hand. And
Somebody
of course,
took the hand home.
guards, they're doing well to protect it back there.
It kind of reminds you of the Wonder Wall at the New Orleans World's Fair.
Yeah, yeah. Now that's a 1964 Chrysler.
Mhm.
I don't know what the little one is, but I know what the big one is.
The answer to the question is November 20th, 1967.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Would have been neat if it could have been during the fair. They could have celebrated the landmark.
There's Mexican guys up on the pole.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hmm.
Bunch of Boy Scouts down below. Every time I see one of these things, I'm always, is that me? Is that anybody I know? Oh, it's too far away. But during parts of the year, they had the flat campaign hats, and the other they had the field caps here. So no, not us. Okay. Someday I'll spot it. Then down below, they had amateur photo here at Kodak. They had amateur photo clubs would come in and do exhibits, and if you won, you could get your picture put up on these displays. They changed them about once a month, but you can imagine the fun of the bragging rights that your the photo was on display at the World's Fair.
But how about the bride up on the tower? Where is she today?
Beats me. Probably an old age
Today
home
she-
or a forest lawn.
Today she would be about 75 to 80 years old.
Yeah.
If it came from Kodak's archives, she could have been much older than that in 1964.
Yeah.
You're right.
Well, most of these things were shot for the fair. They used professional photographers. I've told the story about the gal who was there jumping rope on a beach with the family. Well, it wasn't her mother, it wasn't her brother. It was they were all models and things brought together. But again, I don't know of any amateur shots that ever made it up here. These were all done by people that Kodak worked with on other projects. Wayne arriving at the fair. And the lunar fountain in front of NCR. You can see the drought has taken its toll.
They never had an irrigation system.
Yeah, I'm sure they did do something, but there was such a thing there about watering that there were prohibitions in it. That even if they had the irrigation system in, if they had run it, they would have been, torn to shreds in the press. So.
Amazing that's still there today all by its lonesome, sitting there in the middle of an empty field.
So cool.
The rocket thrower's still there.
Yeah.
It's not so shiny anymore.
The rocket
No, there's a
thrower?
lot of corrosion on it.
No, I meant the Earth.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
the
Unisphere.
Unisphere.
There's a lot of corrosion
Unisphere.
on it.
Yeah.
How long will that thing last?
It's a good question. They say it's in good shape. They do a periodic analysis of it to make sure it's not going to come crashing down on people.
Yeah, we have 3 little support points on it. That's the critical part.
Yeah. So the pavilion, I always got a kick out of the and the empty white space here. Seems like,
Use your imagination.
yeah, I know. Was it going to be called something else and then they changed it, or okay.
Elephant.
I love the phone booths. I hope someday they're able to restore the one remaining one.
Was that a standard length for the phone booths? Or were some of them
Yeah.
longer?
They came in both 3s and 5s.
Ah,
Solar fountain. They hadn't put the wind device in yet. You can see how wet it is out here.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's 77 degrees, a nice day.
How do you read 77 off of that?
Yeah. No, it says 77.
Yeah,
77.
Kinda
at
hard
first
to
glance,
read
it
that.
looks like ZZ, but yeah, if you look at it closely, you can see the 7s.
They look
That's
brighter than the others. And
That's
again, it would
not
change the
easy.
time. So the symbol had to light up here for degrees. And it rotated.
Oh, that rotated. I didn't know that.
What's that?
That whole unit rotated?
Yes, it rotated.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. As did the fan on the giant motor. And the air filter. All these little flags swung around by the water hitting them. Again,
Wow, look
nobody
how
on
clean
the
it
lower
was.
deck.
It's clean.
Yeah.
It's really clean.
Here's the fireworks loading ramp. Outside the Caribbean, China off to the side here. And back here on the other side of Bourbon Street, they changed this signage out here over time.
Really cool.
And the Continental Circus and the AMF monorail. Here's that red tent again. So you
Yeah.
can see they had the garden out here. They sold beer and some fast food, you know, pretzels and stuff. And then you could sit out here and under the umbrellas and enjoy yourself. Okay. Okay, the backside of Bell. You know, it's funny how you get so many pictures taken of one side, you know, showing the side facing the water, and here's the backside, more industrial, all the outlets for the air conditioning system and everything.
Where is everybody? There's nobody back there.
Probably first thing in the day. If you came in, I forget the name of the gate that this was, but this, if you're right here next to the Long Island Expressway, and you could come in
Passerelle,
with
the
the gate.
Passerelle gate. It was the Passerelle gate, I think.
No, I
No,
think it
that's
was Rodman Gate.
Rodman, yeah,
Rodman.
Rodman.
Yeah.
Rodman Gate.
So as soon as you came into the fair, the first thing you come up is the bell system. You take your picture.
And then you take 10 pictures of it, then you realize it was the backside.
Yeah.
That would be me.
Yeah.
And here's Rheingold again. Shops in here you could buy fine woolens and clothing and stuff.
They use real brick on that building?
What's that?
Was it real brick?
No, it's actually, I have pictures of it coming apart where it's veneer, brick veneer put over just a wooden frame.
That's what I figured.
Yeah. But it looked real. You know, at Disney years ago, we had the set for the Old Town Square, and it was built out of, you know, movie bricks, the plastic bricks glued to the wall. But one section was done in foam rubber because they had done a movie where they slammed an actor into the wall and they didn't want to slam him into a hard wall. So if you knew where and it looked just like the other sections. I used to have fun walking around telling people, I said, yeah, it's just all movie magic and it's not real. And I'd smash my wall into my hand into the fist and pretend I had heard it, but it was all these fake painted foam rubber bricks.
Huh.
Movie magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, we only have 191 million people at this point in time. People, even the kids dress so nicely for their day at the fair. So over here, again, this was called the Pool of Industry, and it was one of the higher rent districts at the fair. So they spent a lot of money, but you have the Clairol Carousel for the women here, the GE Carousel, the Tower of Light, of course, New York State in the background, Johnson Wax. I mean, again, oh, and this one, very popular, very expensive boat ride. If everybody throws garbage into the fair fountain, right, somebody's got to go and get it out. So these guys would either go out, clean out the fountains, or they go out and be doing some servicing on the stuff out there. Here's one of the tunnels that would let the water in and out of the fair. I have one or two pictures where you can actually see this boat tied up with a rope up to the railing here. And I always thought, boy, you know, I'm amazed that other people didn't get in there and go. Well, I realized over time they took the paddles with them when they left.
I don't think that would stop anybody today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that wouldn't stop anybody.
I mean, you can get in the boat, you can't go very far.
Well, you can use your hands.
Yeah, or a popcorn bucket, or
Yeah, there
something.
you go. One of those hats.
Yeah. So we have over to Clairol.
Bill, I always kind of get the idea, you just mentioned this as being, the cream of the crop of industry around that pool. That at some point, when Moses realized they weren't going to rent all those spaces to, major companies, that smaller companies like Clairol maybe were given a deal. Do you think that could be?
They might have been. It really might have been at that point in time, or better you take a deal than you leave an empty spot at your premier location.
Even though, and
I can't-
there was an empty spot there, right?
Yeah.
Where,
I can't picture Moses giving anybody a deal.
yeah.
Well, the thing is, again, do you end up, it's the old thing, do you get nothing or something, so if you get something and you don't have the embarrassment of the empty spot, and it's better to make whatever money you made off of Clairol than not make any money off of anybody.
Yeah,
Is
that's
that
like,
the building? Is that the building men weren't allowed in?
That's the one.
and did they uphold that policy?
Yeah.
Why was that?
It's just a gimmick. When you went in, you put your head inside a thing, and you could turn a dial and see yourself with long hair, short hair, brunette, redhead, whatever. So it was all geared towards women, and I guess changing the technology to do it towards men would have been. I don't think too many men back then dyed their hair, so I don't think Clairol wanted to
Would
spend
have
a
been
nickel
funny to
on
try it.
it.
Yeah,
Today it's normal.
to see yourself as a blonde bouffant. Yeah.
Yeah, or what you call it, green spikes, or whatever.
Yeah, there you go.
This is Golden Dandelions by artist Harry Bertoia, and these are on display at a museum in Rochester, New York today. So Rochester being the home of Kodak, it's kind of nice that they came back up there. But these are all tiny little metal spikes that come out, and then if there was a strong wind, they would actually move a bit. So very, very nice. And then down below, you can see, if you zoom in, people, of course, love to throw coins into fountains. So
Wow, it's a lot of money.
yeah.
I wonder
A lot.
how much of that is silver.
Well, yeah, good question. And you wonder how much of it, again, the Pinkerton guards took out at night. And sign here for the Pan American Pacific Gardens, and
Where's it
again,
somebody that
we don't-
stuck into the fair? He lived there overnight and he made a living by harvesting that money?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it's on my website, and he was there about 3 days, and he lived inside the Coca-Cola Pavilion and hid in the jungle scene there.
Was it?
He used the money from
unfortunately-
he used the money from the fountain.
He used the money from the fountains, and that's how he got caught. Was seen dipping into the fountain, and the joke was the guard was jealous. But yeah, he unfortunately, Dominic was his name, Italian last name, Cirillo, something like that. He unfortunately passed away, but in the article it talks about how relieved his family was that he was found and brought home. And I actually did an email exchange with his sister and said my father was not relieved, and Dominic could not sit down for a week. So again, the Pan Pacific Gardens is one of the Brass Rail restaurants over here that serve the hot dogs and stuff. But over here they had a Mexican restaurant. So
Look how clean it was. It's so nice and clean.
Yeah.
yeah, in one shot, I don't think it shows up in this one. No, I've actually got a shot. There was an information booth here that was never manned. I've never seen a picture of it. But in one of them, somebody's actually written their name and graffitied it. So even back in '64, people were graffitiing things.
So Bill, the Mexican restaurant that sits next to the Brass Rail Bubbles,
Yeah.
It's run by the Brass Rail?
Yeah.
Okay.
They had several other locations. They had a steak restaurant. They had the Mexican restaurant. I think they ran, I think it was 3 restaurants that were different motifs than, which there was one next to New Jersey. I forget where the steak one was, but there were 3 of them that were done by Brass Rail.
Hmm.
And here's our Arlington hat display down here again, Schaefer beer. The Better Living Center. Oh, and again, you can see how things change. Matter of fact, I have to remember to, very small signage. There's nothing here for, let's see, this is, let me just get the picture number. There's no giant lifesaver here. So let's see, we're at the 28. Number 13. No lifesaver. Added to my list of things that changed during the fair. They later ended up putting a giant lifesaver up here at the top of the tower.
And they also put a lot of colored banners on the outside.
Oh yeah, they have the streamers and everything to try, and then they put signs up about Cleveland Amory's Animal House and other things to try to get you to come in. And if we zoom in here, let's see 1 second. Figures in black. I don't know if they're nuns or not. Haven't seen too many nuns yet today. Oh, here's one.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Then I have a number of pictures of women resting their feet in phone booths. You know, again, she's probably calling up, Mabel, whatever you do, do not wear those shoes you bought yesterday when you come to the fair.
I was gonna say, I was wondering if maybe she just thought it was a changing booth.
That's where Superman would duck into.
Yeah.
Really. This is kind of a classic World's Fair shot, not just for New York, but we'll also see pictures like this from Expo 67.
Yeah.
People soaking their feet in a fountain that wasn't really
Yeah.
designed to soak.
That's the wife of Superman.
Good old New York. Yeah, it looks round in this shot, but it's actually elliptical.
Even the pillars are clean and white.
Yeah, everything.
Look at that. It just sparkles.
Yeah.
Inside the Vatican Pavilion, a replica of the Sistine Chapel.
Mhm.
Outside. Today, you wonder how jammed this place would be.
Where's all the flags?
Down at this particular day. Some days they're not up. I don't know if it was wind or whatever.
Boy, he looks naked without the flags.
Yeah, it does.
Sweden.
Tower of London over here next to Sweden.
Hmm.
And the Continental Circus would try, again, I've mentioned the Pied Piper approach. They would try to get everybody to come to the circus. So you have the elephants would march through, and then you have some bathing beauties sitting in the car here. What kind of car is this, guys?
Fairlane?
Ford
Ford.
Fairlane, yeah.
Yeah. And then circus performers back here in the truck bed going in, and they would try to get people to come back to the circus. It did not work, and the circus failed.
Of course, today you would not have bathing beauties in a car, and you wouldn't have an elephant walking on pavement, right?
No. Well, you might
Guy in
have
the blue
bathing
outfit
beauty.
was the dung collector.
Well, were they bathing beauties or were they just some of the circus performers?
Well, I
Oh,
think that's
could
what they
be.
were. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were probably the circus gals.
They were the cutest ones.
Yeah. And here's Roland Crump's Auto Parts Harmonic Orchestra. And off we go inside a Ford.
Why is there a pineapple next to a rhino?
That's what I thought.
It looks like it. Well, a
Lots of
palm,
pineapples.
tropical plant. Yeah, there's another pineapple. Yeah, pineapples, I guess, according to Walt, grew back then. Who knows? Of course,
There's
you
several
know-
of them on the right side too.
Oh
There's
yeah,
several
there's a bunch
pineapples.
over there.
Those are prehistoric pineapples.
Yeah, it's a prehistoric rhino too.
When the Triceratops are born, they're of course rocking
Triceratops.
back and forth in their eggs because they're happy to be out. And Mama is
Yeah.
very proud. She has a smile on her face.
Hmm.
The
You know,
discovery
those
of
are
fire.
really, those aren't pineapples, they're palm fronds, or what do they call them?
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Palm.
I have a some kind of a palm in my back patio. It's in a big planter, and it kind of looks like that as it's gotten older.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, they're taking out the woolly mammoth.
It's like,
And the inventor of the wheel and his wife doing all the work.
As it should be.
ooh.
Oh.
Does Carol have any access to those controls?
So look and enjoy this while you can.
Yep.
Yeah.
On the way.
Yeah.
How many
We're talking about
carousels are
that.
there? They have one in the east and one on the west coast. There's two
No,
of them.
just the east.
No, just the
No.
East Coast.
Just the
And
east.
they're going to redo it top to bottom. Take out everything and start at 1960 and work their way forward.
So it went from New York
Here.
to Los Angeles and back to Orlando.
Apparently,
You know, after the fair ended, this came out to California, and then when Disney World opened, GE wanted to be part of Disney World, but they didn't want to build another carousel, so they paid to have the carousel move to Florida, and that's when out here we ended up with America Sings.
Wouldn't it have been cheaper just to build a new one and move it?
Well, yeah, it's cheaper because you didn't have to build. I mean, you had to build a new building anyway, but then you just took all the figures, put them on a truck, moved them out there, and planted them down.
That was just the
So,
figures, but it's a new building. They didn't move the
Yeah.
building.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
it's a
couldn't
new
build the
building.
Yeah, the building stayed in California, and part of that decision also, I mean, yes, GE wanted to be part of it, but also the attendance at this show in California was starting to wane. So they thought, okay, give us a chance to come up with a new show that will be interesting to people. And unfortunately, they decided to reverse the direction of the building in its rotation, and that's what caused the death of that one operator who
I didn't
wrote
realize-
protocol.
I knew someone had been killed, but I didn't realize that was part of the
Yeah,
reason. Okay.
because it went in reverse direction. She was sitting, they didn't move the operator station to the other part where if you looked around the corner like she did to talk to somebody in the other room,
Right.
you saw the wall coming to you. It was coming up from behind. She never saw it hit her. You know, it just,
Now,
Yeah,
would it be nice, since the building still stands in Anaheim, because if they could move this stuff back and, you know,
Yeah, I mean, they could have put America Sings back in it. They could have done anything with it, but they've absolutely ruined the building. So, you know, I don't know if it rotates anymore.
yeah, I never liked America Sings.
I did. I liked it. I just
Yeah.
watched it the
This
other
was
day.
so much one of my favorite things. I mean, I think I mentioned this before, you know, when you still had the tickets, you ran out of the E-tickets, now you were down to A tickets. I would just go to, you know, by myself, and parents would say, yeah, don't get lost. You know, meet us here at 8 o'clock. Go back to Tomorrowland and go on all the free shows over and over again.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Randy, I'm with you, and I've always hated to Bill that because I know he loves it, but I never liked
Did they
it
actually
either.
move the building? Did they move the entire building from New York to California? Or
No.
just
Built
keep the
a new
guts
one.
of it?
no, they built a new building in California to take the show from New York.
Okay,
And
so
that
there's the
was-
show move, but not the
What
building.
they,
Yeah,
what they took from New York was the metal rail system because it runs on railroad wheels and axles. They took
Yeah.
all that and brought that out here and put it in, but the whole building itself.
Okay,
That's why there's no sky dome or anything on this one. It's a much shorter building and doesn't have all the
Mhm.
upstairs stuff.
yeah, I remember being disappointed at the building the first time I saw it at Disneyland. Yeah, I was expecting, I'd heard that it was being moved from the World's Fair to Disneyland. I kind of expected the whole building to be there. It was, you know, a disappointment compared to what GE had built. in New
Yeah, it
York.
was just a ramp and a square building.
Yeah, I mean, it
But
was
the
neat
building in
that
New York,
it
the
was neat
building
that
in
it
New York was
turned.
only, but the New York structure was only temporary. It never would have lasted.
Well, they could have
Well,
moved.
you had that, but also wasn't that a bunch of display space upstairs?
Upstairs, yeah, you had.
Yeah, and at Disneyland, they didn't have any, there was no way to access that, and they didn't know what to display, and, it wasn't gonna be, GE wasn't paying for that display. They were, actually, GE didn't pay for it. They got the advertising from it in a sense, and sure they paid a rights for, I mean,
Right.
a fee to have their name mentioned, but it was all about the show. Everybody wanted to see the
Well, and
show.
initially, you went up a ramp to the a model of Epcot, right? What the original Epcot?
Yeah,
Tomorrow.
That was
But they didn't have
that
a-
in LA, but yeah.
That was
They
in
didn't have-
LA.
they didn't, yeah, they had the model there for a while.
Right.
Then that became entertainment division offices, and then they put the what you call it. You could still see it for a while. For the People Mover would go by, and the model was there.
It's still there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't put in the Sky Dome Spectacular, the Fusion display, the Kitchen of Tomorrow, or any of that. But the GE paid a fair amount of money, because I've got a copy of the proposal that Disney put together to convince GE to do it. Because GE at first wasn't going to do it. And Walt said, look, for a minimal amount of money, you've already bought all this. Look how many people, and it's on the other coast. These people have never seen this show. So, again, all the mention of GE. Then when GE stopped sponsoring it, all of a sudden, they changed the dialogue in the show. So you didn't have, so like father would say, oh, I wonder what those guys in GE are coming up with today. Well, now, oh, I wonder what those guys in the lab are coming up with, or however they changed it.
Yeah.
As soon as you stop
yeah, I hope-
sponsoring a show at Disney, they take your name out of it that night.
I hope they keep up the sense of humor and stuff that was in the old one.
Yeah.
You hope so.
What was fascinating to me as a kid, seeing this at Disneyland, and I'm sure it was the same for people who saw it in New York, was just the theater itself, the fact that it rotated the way
Yeah,
it was built.
it was really cool stuff.
Why didn't they just rotate the stage? Wouldn't that have been easier?
Oh no, you got all the figures with a 1,000 pipes and plumbing and all the rest of that. That would have been an impossible thing to rotate. Each one of these figures coming down through Dad's legs are hydraulic lines, electric lines, all sorts of stuff. And
Now the new one's gonna have a figure, and the new one's gonna have a figure of Disney in there.
It will have the first scene will be Disney or last scene.
Yeah.
And then they started in
I understand
1960.
he never wanted an audio animatronic made of himself either.
Yeah, that's what his family says, but doesn't matter to Disney today.
No, they've already got one in Disneyland, and they're getting it in Disney World.
Oh, the song, it's in my head, make it stop. Okay, we go outside to Thailand. The Hitch and Post restaurant.
That's interesting. That statue looked like she was holding up the American flag in that view. Did you notice that?
One? Yeah, it does look that
Go
way.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah, back to the one before this. There.
This one, right.
Yeah.
Right. Freedom of the human spirit. And if you go in the back, you can see people posing for their picture with the United States sign and breaking all the lamps down below. Patrol car going by with its Kojak bubble lamp on the roof.
Well, the landscaping is still quite beautiful in these shots.
Yeah.
The lawns are green. And
The Long Island Railroad, and you can go ride this train today out on Suffolk County in Riverhead, and it was great fun. I went out there, and it goes around, squeals, and makes all sorts of noises. It goes around some tight turns, and it was really cool to fit. It's got a lot smaller though than I remembered from '64.
It shrunk.
Yeah,
In 64, you could actually turn around while you were sitting in the.
yeah. Now there's no knee space at all. I mean, wow.
They had
But
to
is it-
take it away.
After the fair ended, it went to a playground, a thing for what was the name? Grumman. Grumman Aircraft had it, and they ran it as a thing for their employees for picnics and that sort of thing. And when that got sold off, it ended up in the museum out there. And it's such a small world. My former Boy Scout leaders was one of the founders of that museum, and he had worked for Grumman, and he helped get the train salvaged. So
Cool.
nice that he was able to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always wondered why they had to take down the lighting towers for the Unisphere, because it was such a neat effect at night.
I don't know.
They didn't. Joey took them down.
Yeah, you walk into
probably-
Joey's living room and there's one of those on either side of the sofa.
Yeah, each corner.
Same
of the
reason they
living
took down all the they took down all the flagpoles too, for the same reason. Every
Yeah,
last pole.
they sold
Yeah.
them all.
Yep.
Yet they left all the benches in place. They left all the benches.
Don't ever ask Joey for some reading light.
I think I've mentioned where these lights have ended up before. Woodstock.
The towers? Those?
The
Yeah.
lights. The
Oh,
lights
the
that were
lights.
in the tower. They were used to light the stage at Woodstock.
Wow, did
Really?
not know that.
Yep.
Oh, the Unisphere lights? That's
Yep.
where they
Somebody
went.
got the light surplus after the fair and brought them out, and that's what they used to light up the grounds of Woodstock. They
Oh.
mentioned
So
that
where are the
out of-
lights, where are they today?
I have no idea where they'd be today, but there's a mention of it when you go out to the Woodstock Museum in Bethel, and there's a thing about how they got the lights from the fair.
Cool.
Yep. Lockers again that we wouldn't have there, and I believe we're over near the underground home. Oh no, this is the Mormon pavilion here, the edge of the flowers for that. The Mayan calendar. Oh, if I read this right, we're all gonna die tonight. No.
Yeah. Carrie and I got married in the Mormon temple.
Oh, did you?
In Utah?
Yeah.
Yeah. In Utah?
Yep. In Salt Lake City. Yep. It was,
Isn't that kind of a big deal?
yeah.
To
Yeah.
get married in the temple?
Yeah. Yeah. But for us, it was like joining the Ku Klux Klan. We were
You're an honorary
horrified.
Mormon now? So now you're an honorary Mormon.
No, we're not. We only lasted about a month and a half after that.
Well, that means your marriage has been annulled.
Well, it should be, but they haven't officially done it yet. So you go in ahead of time for like a practice run for your marriage, and you go in under your name, and they do a baptismal type thing, in the font and all. And then when you go through to actually get married, you're going through under a dead person's name so that they can be baptized. So
Isn't dating actually a practice run for your marriage?
dating? What?
Yeah, because that's the genealogy websites. I have Mormon cousins. A woman that one of my mother's cousins married was Mormon, and her kids are all active on those websites. And I guess every time they add somebody, doesn't that add them to the Mormon church or something? Even dead people.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's what they do. Is they baptize the dead.
Is that a picture of Gene Wilder by that statue?
No, it's a woman. But I mentioned in the invite for the talk this week about people doing research, and one of the people I owe a response to this week was the Mormon Church, who's trying to do something about their exhibit again at the fair, and the fact that this statue is out in Westwood, out here in California today. So
Uh,
Wasn't there another one that ended up in the visitor center?
I don't know,
in
but this
Utah?
one's in LA.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have
And
to say, it looks more detailed than the one that they have here.
yeah, they're evidently this is one of their favorite ones, and that the LA church paid quite a bit to get it out here, I guess.
Well,
The Festival of Gas with the American restaurant.
that kind of has an Epcot look, doesn't it?
Yeah,
yeah.
again, above my price range. Here's the back side of Equitable, their VIP lounge back here. And then out here is you can see the little walkway to the fireworks.
Looks like the brass rails are starting to get dirty.
Yeah,
Well, now speaking of Epcot, do you guys know that they've added 2 new on Disney Plus? They added 2 more Imagineering episodes.
Oh, no.
no,
Look at that.
Yeah, so they added Epcot, and I don't know what the other one is. I haven't watched it yet, but it's super good.
I'll have to go do that. In 65, they put a little roof over this bandstand here, I guess to keep the musicians a little cooler.
The last one was on food, and it was horrible.
Look at all the neat souvenirs you could get here. You could get the full-size mugs. You could get little travel mugs. You could get a whole box of them. You could buy banners. You could buy. They even had hats. We're all set.
You know, you don't want to steal one of those mugs from the Munich restaurant, because I never tried it, but one time when I was there, a couple kids tried to do it. Boy, they're not gentle on you.
We bought. I have in the other room a whole bunch of them because they would sell them on the way out. And,
Right.
Yeah. I bought a bunch of them over there. I still remember going to Oktoberfest, and you know how those women can hold 6 of those things in one hand is just astonishing to me.
I haven't been to Oktoberfest for probably about 25 years, maybe a little longer. But you know, having airline passes, I used to go every year. I loved it. It was so much fun, and getting a table in one of those, those tents, the beer halls, was impossible. Impossible. I mean, you had to just stand behind someone, and the second they'd lift a cheek off that bench, you had to plant your cheek there.
Sort of like musical chairs.
Yeah, precisely.
We actually did it through our office in Munich, and they were able to, it worked out really well. They would reserve a table for you, and you would prepay your meal and everything in advance. And we would just go out there, sit down and drink and eat, and have too much beer and too much chicken and sausage and everything else. And then after that, you were on a timetable. I mean, they seat you from 8 to 9 or something.
Sure.
But it worked out really well. We didn't have to wait on the line or anything, and then we stumble off into the rest of the grounds. And I really enjoyed it. And it was funny. I had a boss who hated to fly, absolutely hated to fly. So I had to do almost all the travel. But somehow he always wanted to go to Munich during Oktoberfest. And then his boss found out that we were having a meeting, so he had to come over. And I don't know where they went, but I had pictures of my 2 bosses doing the chicken dance out in the middle of the thing. And I kept joking that if you ever try to hold me back for a promotion, those pictures are going to go wild.
Oktoberfest, and we had no idea that's what we were going to. So we planned a trip that started in Vienna and went through Austria and Germany, and it ended in Munich. We had no idea that Oktoberfest actually starts in September. So
Yeah.
we got to Munich and they said, oh, there's a big parade today because it's the first day of Oktoberfest. So we went over there that night just to see it, but it was certainly not part of our plan, but it was very much part of our trip.
Yeah, I think it's so much fun. Yeah,
We ended up at the Hofbrauhaus in Munich during the World Cup, and all the different teams were there jumping up on the tables, doing their cheers, and our two girls, they got proposed to about 20 times. And our older daughter thought that was so cool, and our younger daughter was, "Dad, get me out of here." It was really, really fun, and the girls that are holding those trays with all those steins of beer, I mean, they're big girls, I mean, so they lost the practice.
They one of the times I went after we had a couple of those huge beers, we left the beer hall and we went out to go on some of the rides, and we made the mistake of going into the Hall of Mirrors.
Oh.
Get out of there to save our lives. And part of the Hall of Mirrors is glass, so the people outside can see you, and they're screaming at us like, "Go that way, go that way." And it took us like an hour and a half to get out of there.
Did you ever go over there, Randy, for any of the Christmas markets?
Not in Munich. I was at Christmas market in Mainz. That's where we used to lay over on Frankfurt layovers. We usually laid over in Mainz. And
I was over there, had a good time, and then Carol and Margot was very young. We came over. I think she was just coming up on a year. They came over, and we were at a one of the Christmas markets, and they had this rocking horse, but it was one with you sat on a chair on top of the rocking horse, so the kid wouldn't fall off. And we looked at it, and I said, "Oh, well, it'd be too nice to get home." And my buddy Bill Troop, who's there in the Army, "Oh, we can get it home." So we took it home to his house, took the thing apart, disassembled it, packed it up, it had shipped back to the United States, put it together, and she'd be sitting there in the living room just rocking back and forth in this thing. And all these people, "Where'd you get that?" "Oh, I got it in Schwäbisch Gmünd, Germany," And when she outgrew it, we donated it to somebody. But the Christmas markets, I was over there a couple times for Christmas with my parents, happened to be there as travel agents. I enjoy those. Glühwein and with the hot cinnamon, and great fun.
Yeah, they are very fun.
Yeah, I actually like the Christmas market better than Oktoberfest because it was more manageable and less puking.
Oh yeah, Oktoberfest is just it's crazy, absolute crazy.
Yeah. Oh,
so that's how many rides. There was kind of a carnival area, and they did not seem to have the same safety regulations we have in the U.S.
No. Oh,
we
yeah,
saw
you're
some
right.
things on those rides.
Yes.
Bill, did you buy a pickle at the Christmas store?
I don't think I did.
Because that was something that we saw. It was apparently a tradition, and the kid that can find the pickle on the Christmas tree gets to open the first present.
Oh, no, didn't know that. It's funny the things you remember. I remember walking down the Marienplatz, the main pedestrian area in Munich, and I had gone to a movie, which was lucky because it was in German but with English subtitles. So whatever I came out, and there was a guy selling hot dogs there, and their whole way of doing hot dogs was they had a big metal spike that came up, and they didn't have sliced hot dog buns. He just took the bun, rammed it over this metal stake, split the hot dog all the way into the bun, and that was the way he did it. It was like, okay, it was just the things you remember. There was you get so used to the United States split hot dog buns. I mean, nope, not over there. Munich was fun.
Something similar is pizza in France, that they cut it with scissors.
Yeah, really?
Instead of a blade.
Wheel, huh?
And we've pretty much done that ever since. It's like, yeah, wow, that makes sense.
There's a Thai restaurant I go to every month. It's a Delta Airlines retiree lunch, and basically people who live LA, Orange County area. And they put scissors on the table to cut like lettuce and stuff. I guess that's a tradition there too.
Huh.
We go to a Korean restaurant a lot, and you know, one of these things you cook it yourself, and you have the
Yeah.
scissors to cut off all the meat and stuff. So we're into 65 now. The Pan American Pacific Gardens has been replaced with a go-kart track. No go-karts out at this particular day.
Brass rail is not shiny white.
No, God,
Palm
no.
Palm tree doesn't look too good either.
Yeah,
You know, yeah, and these actually have been steam cleaned the weeks before the fair opened. So, you know, think how much they looked before they even got cleaned. And yeah, you're right that reminds me, I have to go water one of the trees outside my house today.
no, back to the previous slide. What is the building on the left-hand side behind the tree?
Japan. House
Oh,
of
okay,
Japan.
okay. It looked kind of like girders to me, but yeah, I recognize it.
Yeah. If you zoom all the way in here, you can see, you know, House of Japan here, and then this part of the
Yeah.
roof.
Yeah, that back part to me looked kind
Yeah.
of like girders.
Right.
So, Bill, when they did the steam cleaning on the brass rails, did they, like for a day at least, look like they had looked when they
No.
first opened? They never did.
No, they never came all the way back.
Yeah.
There was one of them which looked slightly better in 65 than the others. That's because it had caught fire in 64 and they replaced the balloons late in the season, but they were all pretty grungy.
Yeah.
In this particular case, you can see there's a brass rail here, but I don't see any balloons for this particular one. But here's all the seating of it.
Well, aren't there a couple of those throughout the grounds without the balloons that have that kind of like stadium seating?
Yeah, there's one next to Korea. Again, but most of them had the balloon here and they had the stadium seating behind it. You just don't see them in the shots.
Okay.
It's a world of laughter, it's a world of tears. Get through those. But 65, the Belgian Village is going full bore. Post these pictures on vintage Queens groups and people cannot believe this is Queens, New York.
Now, are those cables to keep the tower from blowing over, or was there
I think
something?
they're support cables, yeah.
That's interesting.
Keep it from blasting off.
Yeah.
Yeah. How would you like to wear that hat on a windy day?
Yeah, a cotton candy hat.
This is so cool to visit, though, you know, and never knowing I'd ever actually get over to Belgium. You walked in there, you really felt like you were there.
Shame they couldn't leave that village up. Why did they have to take it down?
Because it was all built temporary. This bunch of pictures I just did. A guy did an entire roll of going through the Belgian village. Got some nice shots. And
Can't even
New
walk
York
through a door
State-
wearing that hat.
What's that?
You can't even walk through a doorway with that hat.
Oh no. What a beautiful day, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody took that same picture from that angle.
Oh, it was mandatory. Bill Young, the guy that I wrote the 3 books on the fair, one day said, if I have to look at one more picture from because we were trying to pick out what we were going to put in the book. He said, if I have to look at one more picture of the Unisphere taken from the New York State Tower, I'm going to scream.
It is a pretty setting, though.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. Yeah.
The
Plus,
flags
you're
are back
taking a
at this
picture.
point.
Plus, you're taking a picture of the North American continent, not Asia or Europe, where, you know, everybody's from North America, right? I mean, for most of the people.
So this was 1965. They added Fiesta Market with the International Snack Bar. So despite the fair not doing well in 64, some people thought, well, if I can come in and do something for 65, might as well give it a try. And by this time, the Fair Corporation would give you a very good deal in filling up the empty space indeed.
Now, in really early plans, you know, pre-64 opening and all that, that space shows as Argus. And I never realized Argus was that big of a company to have had that location. You know what I mean?
Which company?
Argus, you know, the camera.
Oh, the photo.
manufacturer.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, maybe their eyes are bigger than their wallet.
Well, yeah, they never opened, so.
Yeah. And we have the Pennsylvania Pavilion back here with the Liberty Bell. Randy mentioned earlier about the banners. You can see over here for the Better Living Center, they try to do all sorts of things. At one point, they had hung up just orange colored stripes that came down, but then they came and put up all these things here to tell you all the wonderful shows that you could see. Like Cleveland Amory, he was the critic for the TV Guide. He had a thing here, Animal Kingdom, where animals are just living in houses. You know, so you have a llama sitting in a couch and stuff
He was
like
a
that.
big animal rights activist.
Yeah, right. And again, all sorts of things about coming and see our shows inside.
How that concrete retaining, how the retaining wall gets so dirty?
Oh, just the stuff coming up on it. And see, here's the Lifesaver I mentioned they added.
Yep.
Yeah, I was imagining that Lifesaver was bigger, but obviously not.
No, it did rotate.
Yeah.
Such a change from their exhibit for the 39 fair, though, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Carousel, which is now up in Montreal. Okay.
I was
Alright.
just wondering if they use those hats, what'd you call them?
The
The
Gilly
Sure.
Spazzers.
cotton candy hats
Yeah.
to
Uh-huh.
clean the
Those-
brass rail.
So this one, or before I think I mentioned the Passerelle entrance, that would have been up this ramp here. So this is the main both coming in here to Gotham Plaza. I thought this was just a really nice clear shot. I mean, if you zoom in on some of these things, you can make out so much detail on them.
Yeah.
The map, all new for 65.
So does the 65 map include like that Fiesta and the Pennsylvania Pavilion?
You know, I'd have to look. I've got a bunch of them. I'd have to go off and look. I still, I'm looking at my 64 map over here, and I'm still waiting for the riverboat, the dock, and a couple of things that were on the 64 map that never made it to the fair.
Yeah.
But I'll have to go back and look at the 65 map and see. Good question. I've mentioned before, I always got a kick out of the fact the fair was not doing well money-wise, but they kept the flowers up right up until the very end. I mean, despite their woes and everything, I think they made a pretty good effort to keep the grounds tidy and clean. You know, the flowers looking good. I mean, they cut back on all sorts of stuff, but they cut back on stuff that didn't show. They cut back on the publicity departments and some of the others. But you don't see I mean, the final week, there was no way to keep up with it. But the trash is picked up. There's people out sweeping the streets. It looked good up until the end.
Do you think, have you ever heard that maybe, what am I trying to say here? Maybe like a seed company or subsidized those plantings, you know what I mean? Like donated a nursery company.
There was one company that came out with it because I have 2 or 3 packages of marigold seeds from the World's Fair.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what the name of the seed company was. I don't think it was Burpee, but you could go to one of the pavilions and buy seeds to recreate the flowers at home. And I've always thought about taking one of those packs of burpee seeds and seeing, or whatever the company is, the marigolds, and seeing if they came back. But I don't. My guess would be if somebody had been subsidizing this, there would have been a little sign like, courtesy of
yeah.
Lopes Nurseries or
I'm sure
something.
you're right, yeah.
And I read something interesting that I didn't know of earlier this week, that there was a Teamster strike and they weren't able to bring Pepsi into the fair for a week during the week of the strike. So at the Pepsi Pavilion, you could get orange juice because that was done by a different union. So I had not. So somebody that's worked at Pepsi mentioned it. It was interesting because he said that he worked there at the snack bar and everything, but 2 nights a week they could make overtime money by going into the trough and scrubbing algae off of it. So they
Nice.
yeah, go and clean out the boat trough, and he thought that was great. That they'd stay late at night and clean that out 2 nights a week and make extra money. The little things you just don't think about.
Well, there was an expose of these iced tea dispensers in a couple years ago in various, fast food restaurants, and how filthy dirty they were on the inside.
Oh yeah, the dispensers on the soda machines and stuff.
Well, iced tea in particular, yeah.
Yeah,
The iced tea just sits there; it doesn't
yeah.
percolate.
Ugh.
What building we're looking at here?
Festival of Gas.
Oh, okay, different
So
angle.
you could, just see the word gas here. So gas here, and then here's the rotating carousel up above, and then some of their figures, the restaurants back here. And over here, look at this map. Look at the size of that map. I mean, I have a map on my wall, but boy, that would be my wall. I mean, that's just a beauty.
That would be great. There was when I used to have New York City layovers, there was a restaurant around the corner for our hotel. We used to eat at quite a bit. It was a French restaurant, and they had a map or a poster from the 1937 Paris World's Fair. Sure, it was a reproduction, but it was about that size. And the restaurant closed. I left a note with the manager to have the owner contact me. He was going to be selling the map. I never got word on it, but I would love to have had that map in my living room or poster.
That map is an optical illusion. It's in the foreground on a pole, so it's no more than 2 by 3 feet. See,
Oh, you're
it's
right.
not in the back. It's not behind the bench like a billboard. It's
Yeah, you're
standing on a
right.
pole.
You're right.
Good catch.
So it's maybe 2 by 3 feet.
Good catch.
Good
Yeah, at
catch.
first it looked like a big billboard back there.
Yeah. Oh, well, thanks for ruining my dream. Thanks, Irv.
It's a small map.
It
Yeah,
was
I
a big
Very
catch.
good, though.
I totally
You know,
bought it.
you could spend the money you've been putting away to look for that map
Yeah.
on something else now.
And you could come in here to the decorated room displays, and you could eat at the famous Glass Tower restaurant. And then over here, go-karts. They put a small go-kart track back off in this area here, which hadn't been used. And you could go in and rent. They had the ones that went around the Avis one, which were little cars, but these were just metal frames with engines on it. And they actually had a go-kart competition out there for people. And this is a guy that won a trophy, has his picture, and he's on one of the World's Fair groups. And but yep, I mean that's pretty classy. So you can imagine as you're walking through the fair, enjoying the sights and sound, you can hear going around and around.
You know, that was such a big deal. Do you remember the Mickey Mouse newsreel where they had
Yeah. Oh yeah.
the go-kart races in California?
So here again is the backside of the East Equitable Pavilion, and you can see
Right.
this is a grassy shot in the other shot we'd seen, but this is where they added in the international fiesta.
My sister and I bought a Sears go-kart, saved all our money for, gosh, a long time. And we sold records at high school to get the money to buy a go-kart. But it was so fun, and we'd pull our skateboards behind the go-kart, and it was It was kind of funny because you could go around a turn, the skateboard had enough pull, it would pull the back of the go-kart.
And your parents let you buy that, huh? They weren't afraid of you killing yourselves?
I don't understand it, but I think maybe they wanted us to kill ourselves.
Or at least get out of the house, yeah.
Well,
For
that
sure.
explains the e-bike phenomena of today, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
we didn't have a lot of that stuff because my grandmother was an X-ray technician. So anytime we had skateboards, we had the original red ones with the metal wheels it said skateboard painted on it, and
Sure.
we had to hide them every time she came because
Oh, wow.
my mother was like, "You can't use those in front of your grandmother; she'll kill me."
My best friend's mom said, "Oh, I want to try it." She stepped on it, broke her leg. It was like,
Not
Well,
fun.
she tried it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bill, speaking of e-bikes, just last night I was out, had to go out and get something after it was dark. And down the street from us at a major boulevard where you turn onto it, it's Winchester, it's called. There were two kids on an e-bike with no light. They're wearing dark clothing and they're in the left turn lane to go out into the street
oh,
at
well.
night. And you just go like, don't parents watch after their kid? I mean, yeah, like, no helmets, no light. I mean, you know, a driver could have easily run into them because you never see them. I mean, I only noticed them because they whizzed by me.
Brock, you're
Well,
trying
we
to take
were out-
Darwin's job.
We were out on patrol about 3 weeks ago, and we had about 40 kids on e-bikes try to run my partner off the road. And I mean, they were out in the road doing wheelies, and so we called in, and they got away. But the next 2 days later, a bunch of them were going down the street with bags of rocks, throwing them at people as they rode around. So the e-bikes are definitely becoming a giant ass problem, and people have been killed by them. Down in Orange County, the woman, they arrested the mother because she had been warned over and over, your kid's doing this dangerous stuff, and he killed I think it was a 81-year-old Vietnam vet, ran him over and killed him, and it's definitely a problem.
And the e-bikes, just the fact that they're like litter. People will just dump them somewhere. They did that in front of my place. It was on the sidewalk. I called the number on the e-bike. Week later, it was still there. Called the police. We don't remove them. So I thought, I'm just going to put it in the street. So I lifted it up. I didn't know it had an alarm that you could hear in Bolivia on it. It scared the crap out of me. But I carried it into the street, and it still sat there for another week or two.
Well, we try to move one in the park outside our house, and the same thing, louder than hell. But my attitude was, it's set off an alarm, let these guys know something's going to happen. So I'm going to take the e-bike, and I put it in the street, but just not in the middle of the street.
Right.
And the next day it was gone. No, I'm talking about these electric motorcycles now. The little e-bikes that people rent are annoying enough.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
The ones where they're doing the wheelies and they're going 60
large
miles
tires.
an hour.
Yeah, they're on the side.
Yeah, they're electric bicycles, but they're essentially like a motorcycle, and they're riding them down sidewalks. You can't legally ride a motorcycle down a sidewalk, but kids can ride these down the sidewalks and, like you say, hit a person, whatever.
Yeah, exactly, Brock. Yeah, I'm amazed to see him coming down the sidewalk sometimes. Yeah.
And the
Terrible.
local paper here publishes the police blotter every week, and it never fails. There's some case where the police educated the kids and their parents about the rules.
It's terrible.
So we have a lot of e-scooters, and then there's these groups of like 20, 30 people on those segways that just go putz around, and they haven't really been a problem. They seem to be
Segways
They are here.
Yeah.
on the segways.
I didn't realize there were segways anymore.
Oh yeah, they're
They don't-
really
They
popular
don't make them
here.
anymore.
This, by the way, is an exciting view from the Pavilion of American Interiors. If we went up to the House of Glass restaurant, you got a very nice view of the Hall of Education roof, or in this year, the demonstration center. And here is the demonstration center.
You get to look at a bunch of air conditioning units on the roof.
Yeah, look at them all.
Now that's kind of shaped like the
You look
GM
at this
building
and-
there.
You figure people spent a fortune to build this pavilion, but I mean, to go in and see displays about Encyclopedia Britannica and other stuff. I mean, again, how did anybody possibly think that was going to make money? And when you went in,
Isn't
in
that shaped like
65
that's shaped like General Motors building?
what's that?
It's shaped like the GM building.
Oh, this one, yeah, the Travelers
Yeah,
Insurance.
that between the circular section offset from the rectangular section.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It's two different buildings, but two different
Yeah.
pavilions.
The loading ramp here for the fireworks.
Bill, did you ever see them loading the fireworks? When-
Yeah, they brought them out. I don't know if this one shows it.
I mean, I was wondering what
Coming out
size
in
of
a
a thing
car.
they had.
Yeah, they brought them out and then they would, the fence did not open up. A guy actually had to climb over it and then they handed them down and then they walked them all out and took them out there.
Hmm.
We stood there and watched them one day and thinking, oh, it'd be really cool to climb out there and go out there, and then realized they stayed around until the tide came in. They didn't want any chance of anybody getting out there.
Yeah.
The Goodyear blimp.
What's that?
Here's the Goodyear blimp.
Oh yeah, it flew out of the Flushing Airport.
And
Again, even at 65, you still got people. He's carrying his jacket, wearing his tie. And you can see a bunch of us Boy Scouts back here passing out brochures and letting people ring the Liberty Bell, which you realize was real fun the first 3 or 4 rings. And after a while, God, that got loud.
Is that common for Boy Scouts to have red shirts?
Red
Back at
jackets,
East-
yeah. Yeah, but basically the Boy Scouts back at that point in time had a very light nylon jacket or a wool jacket, and that was the big thing. There were I still have my Boy Scout wool jacket. It has shrunk apparently, but
Like that train.
Wool
Yeah.
does that. Yeah.
yeah, people would put their patches on them or something like that. And for the fair, you got a giant jacket patch that went across the back of it. I have a huge box of stuff. I got, again, what a connection. The guy that was my Boy Scout leader to work for Grumman that saved the train met somebody whose husband was one of the Boy Scout leaders who ran the Boy Scout exhibit at the World's Fair. And when he passed away, I ended up with his collection through that route. And I've got so many wonderful 8x10 shots of the Boy Scout Pavilion and VIPs visiting and paperwork. I've got a ton of stuff I got to do on it. But yeah, you would come out, you would sign up, and sometimes you came as your own troop. Others, if you weren't able to go get everybody else to go, they would put together a de facto troop. And we stayed at a army base. And 39, you stayed on the fairground, but for 64, 65, you stayed at a Fort Totten army base, and you came in and you did VIP escorts and that sort of thing. So they would give you the red jacket, and at the end of it, you had the option to buy it. I didn't have the money for it, so I have a different red jacket post fair. But yeah, and you can see, I mentioned before, the other guys were wearing the field caps. In this particular season, they'd give you the campaign hats, and again, you could not take those with you. Imagine after the fair ended, they were well worn, but and then you got to come out here and ring the bell.
Bill, I was a Boy Scout in the San Jose, California area. I don't remember ever seeing a red jacket, but I might be.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
It might be because it never got cold enough to wear anything like that.
That might be well it. No, it was a big thing back east.
Yeah, I would say maybe it's a regional thing with the Boy Scouts.
what happened?
That's what I'm
What happened to
thinking.
the replica of the bell? What happened to the bell replica?
They actually
It's not the
made
original.
replicas of the bell, and they sent them out to every state. And I think this one ended up going back to Pennsylvania. But they had a thing that each state got a replica of the Liberty Bell for this particular period of time.
Wow, I made 50 of them.
Yep. Yeah, no, the Boy Scout jacket was, you know, a national jacket in the catalog, and it's got, I still have the label in it and everything. So, yeah, maybe it was just the fact that it got cold in New York, and you know, you didn't want to wear a wool jacket out here. GE now has added the waiting signs to let people know this is going to be an hour, 2 hour, whatever wait. Again, the Pied Pipers are out. We're going to get you to come and follow us to the Belgian Village. Oh, you got to pay to come and see the show. Well, but it worked. She looks like she's all set. She wants to be in the show.
Yeah.
Oh, and now Irv's going to break our bubble. Oh, okay. That's the backside of one of those signs, Irv.
Yeah, there it is.
It can't be because it's square. The other one was rectangular.
Yeah, there was more rectangular.
But they're all looking to see you are here and figure out where to go. You can find genuine U.S. postage stamps here, so Brock would be running over here to stock up. And then if you wanted to, you could come and see Elsie. Will Elsie the cow become a mother today? They had a pregnant cow, and they had a big thing about come out and see if Elsie will give birth. And
76 live animals.
Much better than the dead ones, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dead ones are dull. But they had a big thing where Elsie did have the cow after hours. She did not give birth during the show, but they had a big thing about Elsie and her cow and her calf. And again, they made the best that they can of it. But yeah, Cleveland Amory's Animal Kingdom, 76 live animals.
Look at all the people up on the roof there.
Yeah, that's the Hilton restaurant up top.
I've always gotten the impression that would have been a good place to eat and was not overly expensive.
Yeah, it was. That's one that did fit in my budget. It was a little on the higher side than a Brass Rail, but it wasn't crazy, and it was really nice views up there. And the thing I remember up there, it got breezy the one day we were up there, and all the napkins were going all over the place. But it was a beautiful day. There's a nice breeze. You see the fair down below, and then they come by. There's people waiting for your table. You know, they moved you through there, you know, reasonably. But I mean, otherwise you just sit up there. You know, when you're on a budget, I had, you know, no money. You gotta move along, son. But no, that they were fine about it.
Those stamp machines and the mailboxes make me think about postcards, and I haven't tried to buy postcards at a tourist place in a decade, and I wonder how many places still sell postcards.
Absolutely, Wayne. Everywhere we go, we see them, you know, all over. Like our last trip to Australia, just everywhere we went had postcards.
What I remember
Went to the Falkland Islands in South America. They had them. Everywhere.
What I remembered about these machines is you had to put in $1, 4 quarters, and you didn't get $20 worth of stamps. You know, I mean, they were whatever they came in little cardboard things. You remember they were packed in little cardboard sleeves, and you'd get like 96 cents worth or something. You know, it was a ripoff.
Yesterday they announced the cost of forever stamps is going up to, I think, 88 cents, something like that.
Oh wow!
Didn't they just go up like a couple of months ago?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, went up to 78 cents a couple of months ago.
Yeah. Now it's going up again.
I pay all my bills electronically. No more stamps.
Carol actually came to mail a birthday card to a friend of hers 2 days ago, and I have a bunch of stamps in an envelope behind me. And I said, I hope she doesn't mind a Christmas stamp, the gal being Jewish. I said, hopefully she'll be okay with it. Because that's the only time I ever buy stamps anymore, is to go and buy and mail Christmas cards.
Right.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, I had to deal with getting my passport picture accepted. I mean, I know I take the ugliest picture ever, but that wasn't the reason. My head wasn't big enough, or, you know, whatever. The background had this slightest shadow in it.
Des trick. Yeah,
Yeah,
policy.
so but I was trying to do it myself, and I've got a nice Nikon camera, put it on the tripod, blah, blah, blah. But probably just what I realized at AAA, if you're a member at a certain level, they'll take a passport photo for free.
Yeah.
So I went and did that, but yeah, I was putting Christmas stamps. I had, initially you could submit your passport renewal online and then upload a picture, but when they reject the picture, you now have to send a physical photo. So I was
Mhm.
putting Christmas stamps on those. I thought, well, they're still good. I'm going to use them.
But the only time I end up buying them.
I recall decades ago, the supermarket selling stamps at the service desk. I have no idea if they still do.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think they do it at the registers now, I think.
Yeah, right at the cash register. Costco sells them.
Yeah, Costco, you get a discount, don't you?
Yeah,
Yeah, it might be. Yeah.
not much,
Well,
but
for sure
some.
you get the discount from your membership. So
Yeah,
So they're
I know.
below face value, or
Yeah, well, you can get like $100 worth for $96 or something like that. Yeah.
something. Yeah.
No,
plus
talk about
you get
people being
your
tired, huh?
membership discount. So
Yep. Buying your credit card and you get the percent back on that.
Yeah.
Yep.
But she has had her fill of the day.
yeah.
You
And
need
this
a
picture,
pillow
by
under
the
your
way,
head.
this was
She's
the
like, Lord, take me now.
yeah, this is the steps up to the VIP lounge.
You still got to walk all the way back to your car.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you know what was in the VIP lounge? Was it like a cocktail lounge or whatever?
Yeah, most of the pavilions had those. They had a small buffet type thing, snacks, drinks, or hors d'oeuvres, not buffet really.
Right.
But they would, bring in, and then if you could get a pass from here, you could get a pass for the one at GM, and then each of the guys would basically grandfather their VIPs over to the other lounges.
So did Disney have those before the 64 World's Fair, or is
No,
that where
this
he
is where
got
they
the
came up
idea?
with this is where they got the idea for it. Yeah.
Because
I'm
those
sorry,
are cool.
got the idea for what?
Disneyland has
Club 33.
well, not just Club 33, but a lot of the attractions have.
Yeah, now the attractions. But no, that's where the idea of Club 33 came from, was seeing all the the VIP stuff, and the fact you could do something nicer and more
Yeah.
elegant.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. But like, say you go to Test Track, Randy, in Epcot, they've got a beautiful VIP lounge that you can, that they invite certain people to go to. And I remember going to one near the Teacups. I can't remember, but I guess the building next to it. I can't remember now how we got in.
Just snuck in the door.
I was saying, walk in the exit.
Oh, we were
You guys-
invited.
Well,
any
during
of
the
you guys
time we were
watch-
doing Epcot Center, all those VIP lounges were for the sponsors of the pavilions. Each pavilion had a sponsor, like the Seas Pavilion had United Technologies, and you couldn't get in. I mean, I could because I was part of Disney and I worked on it, but the average person, there was no way they got in there. That was only for United Technologies employees, and they had quite a spectacular space.
And another VIP guest. Yeah. I mean, if you were.
Well, VIP guests of United Technologies. It wasn't just Disney VIP guests. United Technologies, in our case, at least on the Seas Pavilion, they controlled that space.
Yeah, they did on all.
We have to go to Test Track just because we knew somebody. They didn't have anything to do with Test Track.
Yeah, but back when it opened and General Motors was sponsoring, you had to be, connected to General Motors. Think over time.
I think they've modified some of them now that the sponsors have left and they use the space as a VIP space, but that's not the same as if they were at the time they built them.
No.
Yeah, Epcot's got a new cocktail lounge in the old sponsor space there. And it's very, very difficult reservation to get, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
Any of you
that
guys
a
besides me watch the old Tonight Show on cable? There's the episode would come to Christmas time, and Doc Severinsen got into a thing with Johnny Carson about how do you pronounce the name of this flower?
Right.
And it was poinsettia or poinsettia, and they went back and forth, and they did it for like 3 or 4 nights. And it's really funny because Johnny Carson would say something like, I'm saying it's pronounced poinsettia, and or poinsettia, and the doc would come out and say, "Oh, experts all say it's pronounced poinsettia," and Johnny Carson would come back and say, "Other experts say you're fired."
Yeah, growing up, we always said poinsettia without not pronouncing the I, which is odd because my grandfather was a florist, so you think he would have corrected us, but
Yeah.
Is that a model Florida house there?
Yes, we saw that earlier, mentioned that they would come in. You could come out here and come down here. We'll build you one of these on your land. So it's a typical Florida house.
is it cinder block?
What's that?
Is it cinder block, I wonder?
No, I believe it is.
Looks like it, doesn't it?
Maybe. I don't know.
Does kind of.
I'm just thinking because of hurricanes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes it the only permanent structure at the fair.
Yeah.
And then pineapples, if you guys wanted pineapples, you're here, but they had to put signs on it. Fruit treated for display only, and I have it under electrically heated to ground. But I have it under good authority that the sign was just there. That wasn't treated on anything. It was just people were stealing all the pineapples. So
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
I think they could have afforded to replenish the gravel there.
Yeah, just anything, people, it's people, but probably not too many pineapples growing in New York. And they look like they fit right in Primeval World, don't they?
Yes.
That's where they got it from.
They'd be hard to carry around. They'd stick right through your skin.
I stick it in the bag. These machines, you put a quarter in and they vibrate and revitalize your tired feet.
It doesn't work.
Yeah, I remember in college they used to recruit students for the summer to go pick pineapples in Hawaii, and anybody you knew that did it talked about just getting ripped apart, their arms and their clothes, and just what horrible experience it was.
No, don't think I would sign up for that one.
Nope, I sure didn't.
And the worst I ever did along those lines was setting out cut apricots to dry, because as kids we weren't, they didn't allow the kids, but they were paying like, whatever, 35 cents an hour to use a knife to cut the apricot. So we would lay them out on those pallets to dry them.
And this was
dehydrated fruit.
What's that?
Carousel Park here was in addition to the fair. And over here, you can see this very intricate thing. This is where the monorails, where they would bring them in and they could lower them up and down and do repair work on them. So this people always figure, how do you get a monorail on a closed track? Well, you had a section of beam that came down.
Cool.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. Now, those flags are real, aren't they?
What's that? Oh, yes, these are all flags of the nations.
Real flags.
Yeah. They weren't all at the fair, but they were all different international ones they put up there. And again, nobody on this level. Whoops. And as the sun sets and the day at the fair comes to an end, we see our people walking it back out. These totem poles are in a totem pole display in Alaska in Ketchikan. You can go and see them there today.
I saw it was still 81 degrees as the sun was going down.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah. Hey, we'll go into the Caribbean dinner, and of course I'm going to go and get a broiled steak dinner. That's what else says Caribbean, like steak dinner.
An exotic rum drink.
Yes, the rum drinks sound fine. Very nice Mai Tai the other night.
How much was the hamburger? Was that 19 cents or 79?
29.
29 cents.
29 cents for a hamburger.
That was expensive. That would be double what McDonald's was at the time.
Yeah. It probably had real meat in it.
Sure. I think McDonald's that did then too.
Pavilion in the
Hey, do you
United
guys know that Burger King is owned by Tim Hortons in Canada?
Yes.
I didn't know
How
that.
about that? I was
Yeah, they bought
shocked to
it.
see that.
They bought it a number of years ago.
Yeah.
You know what? I like Burger King. I try to avoid that kind of food, but their restaurants, at least around here, are all really dumpy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just an article in today's paper about a bunch of Carl's Jr. Closing, and every Carl's Jr. I've been in is so disgusting I wouldn't go back.
Yeah, yeah.
So this authentic Belgian village has hilly cobblestone streets with many stepped areas. Please watch your step. So it's only 95 cents plus tax for $1, so they didn't have to worry about giving away dimes. And children under 12 years accompanied by a parent free.
And I
Right
wonder
on
what was
time.
blacked out on the special admission sign.
Yeah, I wonder what that was over there. It was maybe tours or who knows. But they had to go to the next gate
It's
for that.
redacted.
Right
It's a
inside,
redaction.
waffles.
You know, there's an app that all of you guys would probably really like, and girls. It's called Countries Ben, and it's free, and it lets you mark all the countries and states and cities that you've been in or that you might want to visit in the future. It's
Countries Ben,
BEEN. Countries Ben.
Because I've seen some similar type things online.
Yeah, Travelocity used to have one, and then just one day they just took it away.
Or they
was like, I
a lot of them
spent hours filling that thing in.
Here you can see the red jackets and the patch on them. And one of the things I think these guys are doing was they would have you push wheelchairs around the fairground, and it was fun to do because you got to talk to people that were from different areas. They were very appreciative, and I can remember somebody. I thought she was going to get mad at me because I wouldn't take a tip. No, I'm doing my good deed for the day, that sort of thing. But that
Bill?
way, the people with them, yeah.
Oh, no, I didn't mean to. I didn't realize you weren't done talking. I was going to ask you to zoom in on the thing on the right middle of the picture, right above the umbrellas.
Yeah.
From here, it looks like a jet engine. I'm sure it's not. It's in Bavarian Village, but can't tell what that is.
Isn't it a can?
Old cannon.
Yeah.
Is it? Oh, okay. Yeah, it almost looks like a jet engine.
Yeah.
With that center little light thing, like the little pointy part in it. And I'm going like, what? But that's in the Belgian Village. Why would they be advertising jet engines?
I don't see the cable.
Tower.
Yeah, I don't see the cables now.
That's a different tower.
Oh, is that
not the same tower?
Yeah.
The other one was getting wider as it went up. This is the shorter of the two.
This is the one that they shook to pieces that the bells got stolen out of.
So I was thinking about your being asked to leave at the Hilton restaurant.
Yeah.
That's that they're trying to just guilt. It was a dessert served with guilt or something.
Now, does anybody want a great Belgian bratwurst? I never heard of Belgian bratwurst before.
Yeah, why not?
And the sign warning people about the cobblestone streets inside the Belgian Village. First time I went to Europe, my friend Don and I used to travel with quite frequently. We got to the point where we were taking bets how many times a day each of us would fall on a cobblestone.
Oh, turn your ankle again.
We used to have a lot of those in the United States too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Brooklyn was paved with them because it was all the ballast that they brought over in ships and would leave it there.
Ah, right.
There were sections of San Jose when I was growing up. My dad used to drive us over there. He'd amaze us. All the streets are made out of brick.
Bill, if you go back one again.
A lot in Philadelphia too.
Okay, there's the tower. The tower on the left is the one that had the cables. The one on the Just,
see it. Yeah, I see it.
yeah, the smaller one is on, yeah, there's Bill's got his marker
Mhm.
over it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I was starting to use my cursor to show you the tower and I realized, oh, nobody else can see my cursor.
I do that every time on these calls. I'm like, oh, can you point out what this is over here? And I'm like, oh, I guess he can't see that, can he?
Here's the General Motors lounge in their pavilion.
Okay, I would
Oh,
imagine.
no, bro.
Nice view of the parkway, and they can count General Motors cars as they go
Cars
by.
going by.
I would
Yeah,
imagine
there's
a
no
lounge at
traffic.
like General Motors would have been pretty fancy.
Oh yeah, I imagine so. Like I said, I always get a kick looking at this, 1965, here's the missile, and in 1973, I'm working to design its replacement. You never know how your life is gonna go.
Right. That's very cool.
Yeah, when we went to Pearl Harbor, again, Bill Troop, my college roommate, has this retired military ID. We could go all sorts of the base you don't normally go. And we went up there and there's a Polaris missile on display outside one of the facilities. And, wow, it's, again, when stuff you just design is on display in a museum, it means you're really old.
Especially if there's a statue of you standing next to it.
Yeah, right. Now it was a little windy up at the top of the New York State Towers. As she
Wow.
found out.
Wonder how many times she slugged her husband when he showed that slide to company.
Yeah. And warning, spitting, dropping, or throwing articles out will get you thrown out of the fair.
I wondered where Marilyn Monroe got the idea from.
Maybe she said, okay, honey, it's finally working. Get the picture now.
I think that movie came first.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, you're probably right.
It's a neat shot.
In between the levels of the upper towers.
Boy, we're going long today, Bill.
What's that?
We're going long today.
We're going to end in just a minute. Yep.
Okay.
We're gonna end at dinner time.
That'd be fine with me. As long as we could get something to eat in the interim.
That
Oh,
movie
yeah,
wasn't Some Like It Hot, was it? It was Glenn Ford and
No, it was
wasn't it
7 Year
somebody-
Itch.
7
Yeah,
Years?
Seven
Thank
Years.
you.
Tom
Seven
Yule.
year
Yep. Thank you. Thank you.
Yep, Tom Yule.
Right.
Boy, the fact I can remember crap like that, but not where I leave my car keys is scary. Some Like It Hot, one of my all-time favorites. Jack Lemmon, Tony Curtis.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was a
that's-
great movie.
That's often at the very top of most critics' favorite comedy.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh yeah.
Oh, well, nobody's perfect. The end.
So Bill, before I forget real quick, back when we were talking about the statue and where that was, figured out it was Jordan. And yes, the picture of the antelope is an Arabian oryx, which is the national animal of Jordan. They do
Okay.
have
Hmm.
great herds of those things there.
Wow.
No kidding. Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Thank you. Reports of an explosion heard around Boston are believed to be a significant meteor entering the atmosphere. Oh, that was the one from yesterday. I'd heard about that.
The yesterday one was in South Carolina.
Was it? Oh,
Yeah,
this is a different
yeah. Yesterday was South Carolina. This morning was Boston.
Oh wow, hadn't heard about Boston. I did hear
Being
on the news,
invaded.
couldn't figure out where they were.
Hope it's not the beginning of a meteor shower that we didn't see
Yeah, I was
coming.
thinking the same thing. We all have to go put a hard hat on, right?
Yep.
Oh, and I've been meaning to ask you, Don, did you pick up any of the Route 66 stamps?
No, I did not.
Oh, they're out now. You should look at them, see which of those places you've been to.
Yeah, I'll have to
They're
take a
big.
look.
Yeah.
How many are there?
There's 8 designs. There's 16 stamps on a sheet, but there's 8 different designs. They repeat
8
them.
places,
8 places.
8 locations. Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
know
Plus,
what?
they have a salvage piece that shows the road going across the desert. It's kind of a neat looking shot of it.
Brock, do you know what the places are depicted?
Not off the top of my head right now.
Albuquerque.
I don't remember but there are different iconic things along the way. Some of them which we've seen when you did your presentations on the route.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you'll recognize all of them, if not most of them anyway.
Yeah, I'll take a
hope
look.
folks enjoyed the trip back to 64. I'm going to enjoy the trip out now, probably to In-N-Out Hamburgers. So, since we talked about Burger King and Carl's Jr. and everything, I think I'll get a tasty hamburger instead. But
Gonna get some animal fries?
no, I might just go for the normal ones. There was actually a thing in the paper the other day. Some guys, when they ordered, for people that don't know it, In-N-Out is a hamburger chain that's very popular in California. They're expanding elsewhere, and they're all owned by the company. They don't franchise because they want to keep the quality the same. And they have I always get a double. It's 2 patties, just like a Big Mac, but actually tasty. And they have some secret menus, and you can get different things. But there's some guy went up to the In-N-Out in up near San Jose, I think it was, and they ordered 100 patties together. And the restaurant, had to work real. When they got it, a bunch of their friends all devoured it, took it apart, and they said some of the patties were hardly cooked because they were trying to get this whole thing put together. And In-N-Out now has a rule that they will not make any hamburgers more than 4 patties, because they were realizing people were coming in and trying to order these things to set a record. If you order 100, I want 102, sort of thing. So there was some NBA star that really liked to get an 8-patty burger. So they tell him he needs to get 2 4-patty burgers and put it together. But they have a whole secret menu. If you go into there, there's nothing on there that says animal fries or, whatever,
Yeah, you have to know about it. You have to find out about it.
Chain.
Isn't the hamburger wrapped in lettuce, that's mentioned on the menu, isn't it?
It's not on the menu, but you're gonna ask for it.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I see people with it all the time,
Yeah, you're gonna ask for what you go to lettuce wrap
They call-
burger.
Yeah, they call it wrap style, yeah.
Yeah.
We
They
we
a
have
whole-
one here in Salt Lake, and it's always absolutely packed. And there's like 3 other hamburger restaurants across the street and next door, and they'll have nobody there. And there'll be cars around the block trying to get into the
Yesterday,
In-N-Out burger.
I had a collision yesterday outside an In-N-Out burger, and we were standing there dealing with it all. And all of a sudden we hear yelling and screaming and honking behind us. Some guy came down, and there was a long line. It always fills up the curb lane to go into it. Because this particular one has very, very little seating. Some guy had just decided he would drive up around everybody and go in front. And the people that were getting out of their cars and marching towards him, he decided that was a bad idea. But how could anybody think there's 12 cars in line? I'll just drive up and I'll cut in front. And the first guy
cut in front of
he's still going to go.
I-
And they actually have a policy at the restaurant. If you do that, you get up there and they say, "I won't serve you." Encourage people not
Cool.
to do that again.
Cool.
Yeah, Costco gas lines are like that. If you try
Oh.
cutting Costco gasoline.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll eject you.
Yeah,
Cool.
they should.
What are your gas prices today per gallon out there?
About $6.45 a gallon.
Well,
you-
not at
$6.45?
I'm
Not at
assuming
Costco.
you use
Costco.
premium.
Costco, it's $5.59, I think.
It's
You
about
use premium.
$4.50 here.
In Westwood, my friend was there, was $7.42, something like that. I mean,
Wow.
it's
What do you need gas for?
Yeah,
Oh,
Bill, you use
Why
premium,
is it
don't
so
you?
much higher there than back east? Here it's only $4.50. Only
Yeah.
$4.50. Why
That's
is there
why
such a
when you
difference?
see the when we see the national average, we laugh at it because
Yeah.
it's it's
Like
at
I-
least $1 below what we pay
Yeah,
here
but
normally.
I wish, yeah.
Yeah.
And yet the
Oh,
oil
yes,
comes
yeah,
right from offshore. You got the
You,
oil.
you use
oil
premium,
fields.
right? You have a BMW.
yeah.
Yeah, because same with me. I paid
Oh, premium.
Costco a week ago. I think I paid I want to say it was $6.09.
Something like that. And yeah, and then you use the card, you get 5% back on
Correct.
that. Too, that helps.
Oh, I
It's
have an
not
idea.
cheap.
Buy an electric car.
I drive one several days a week. It's good enough.
I
When the
know.
earthquake hits and now the power is out, I'll still be able to drive my gas car.
No, you won't. You can't pump gas without electricity.
I can go 300 miles when I fill it up, and that's a lot further than the electric car will go.
No, it is not. Not anymore.
No,
Oh, you're
I
talking about
gotta
your
run,
little
guys. I gotta take care of
BMW.
lunch.
That's Your
Yeah.
little BMW is
Bye-bye.
different.
But you
Okay.
gotta remember, you
Enjoy.
gotta burn fossil fuels to generate electricity.
No,
So
we
what are you
don't. We
saving?
use solar. We use solar power on our roof to charge our car.
All right,
Bye.
Bill and Carol, enjoy.
Bye,
your
guys.
now.
Gotta
Bye-bye.
bounce.